For the first time in quite some time, the Chippewas are matching the color of the sky outside when we start play. Hi again, everybody. Welcome inside the broadcast booth at Crystal Fieldhouse. Reagan Cleaves, Michael Rosenkrantz on the call for you here on CCHN. Central Michigan tonight. Michael, before we get to anything, we got to talk about the jerseys. These new alternate black uniforms, which hopefully they're new jerseys. Hopefully they mark a new turning point here in this season.
Absolutely, Reagan. You already saw it off of air really quick. As soon as the Chippewas came out of that locker room, my eyes were wide as saucers. Those alternate black uniforms are so slick, so clean, and you talk about having a turnaround after a tough slate against the MCHC West. This starts the MCHC East, so could a new turnaround be nigh? We shall see.
And not only that, the Chippewas also hearkening back to some history with these black uniforms. Again, they're black uniforms, maroon and gold striping along the bottom of the torso, yellow numbers, yellow nameplates with black font, black pants, and black socks. Harkening back to the first uniforms this team ever wore back in the 2013-2014 campaign, and they're hoping to repeat some history here this season. They were off to their fourth worst start in club history. They sweep Davenport just like they did 5 years ago in the 18-19 campaign, and they're hoping to do the same here to mark that turnaround here tonight.
They do, Reagan, and this is a series that Central Michigan has dominated for the most part. They're coming into this series at 14-4, 1-0 in this series, and you can take a look at last year where both the teams split the series. Central Michigan was able to win the first game here at Crystal, and then Michigan-Flint got the win in overtime last year at Martin Ice Arena. So not an ideal way you want to do the split with Michigan-Flint last year, but CMU, they have dominated the series, and they're looking for that turnaround here today.
And we'll dive into that series history in just a little bit here on the CMishIceHockey.com pregame show. But let's take a look back to last weekend, Michael. Central Michigan coming off of a 7-1 loss at home to Calvin, to their first loss at home in 3 games. After that win against Davenport, they come into Eagles Ice Center last Saturday, and they start what was maybe their best first 2 periods of hockey we've seen all season. They allowed an early goal, yes, but they came back. Owen Campbell tied it just a minute later after Calvin opened up the scoring, and then Julian Johnson gave the Chippewas the lead early in the second period. They were able to hold on to it, barring some penalties and some unfortunate play, which we've seen all season hurt CMU.
You have, Reagan, and I got a chance to speak with head coach Brennan Martin just a little bit before we went live on the air, and he mentions it yet again. It seems to be a broken record when you hear it, but you've got to keep yourselves out of the box, and again, head coach Brennan Martin stressed that again tonight. You're not going to win hockey games if you're playing in a game that gets you so many penalties and you're in the box for a majority of the 60 minutes.
Yeah, and even if your penalty kill is sitting nice and pretty at 72%, oh boy, if you allow 7 penalty kills like they did a weekend ago against Calvin in one game, they're always going to hurt you. So that loss came after CMU took that early 2-1 lead. The Knights came back, scored 4 unanswered to win 5-1, including a power play tally. CMU went 6 for 7 on the night. That loss moves them to 3-7 on the campaign. And, oh boy, we're finally out of that MCHC West gauntlet to start the year. Ferris State, Grand Valley, Michigan State, Calvin, and Davenport all at the start. Those 10 games, those 5 series, the longest MCHC West slate, and CMU has come out of it rather a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, it was, Reagan, and we talked a little bit just before we got to Crystal Fieldhouse. You take a look at the rankings. They just had come out a little bit earlier today, and you told me about lots of key rankings in that. Number 2, Grand Valley, Michigan State sitting at number 16, I want to say, and then Calvin.
Yeah, Calvin's sitting at number 2, Michael.
Calvin's sitting at number 2, but my point is, there have been so many gauntlets of teams that CMU has taken on.
And here's the thing, it doesn't get any better.
No, it doesn't.
In the next 3 weeks, Central Michigan will take on Michigan-Flint unranked here this weekend. They then travel down to Missouri as part of the Route 66 tournament. A week from now, they'll take on number 2 Missouri State. number 18 Maryville, and then unranked Drury. They then follow that up with a trip to the defending national champions, number 5 Lawrence Tech, and then Oakland the week after, who's ranked number 4. It's a gauntlet of November here for Central Michigan, but they started off here against a team that has struggled in recent seasons. The national runners-up back in the 2012-2013 campaign, they've certainly seen better days. The Michigan-Flint Wolverines are off to a 7-7-0-1 start, 15 points, about even as you can be on the season. But they've had a fast start, and they've played a lot of games, Michael. They're 15 that they've played so far this season, the most in all of the ACHA's Division III.
It is. They have a lot of experience coming into tonight, Reagan, and they've played a lot of difficult opponents coming to start. They did get a series split with Illinois State last week, and after starting 500 on the year, and on Wednesday they took on the likes of D1 Northwood, and that was a close game, 3-1, being an exhibition game, but it was still a really good test for them.
Yeah, and talking with head coach Nick Karstens over the week about that game against Northwood, that was a team and a game that this program has been building towards. This Michigan-Flint team, they're hoping to make the move up to Division I sometime in the near future, so they use that as a test game, and they held with Northwood, a team that's played very well to start their season and their ACHA D1 tenure. But that's a very tough loss for that Michigan-Flint team, but credit to them, they stuck with it and only lost 3-1. Speaking of sticking with it, boy, last year, Michael, this series was tough. Central Michigan, their closest win in almost 5 years against this team, a 5-3 win on Friday here at Crystal Fieldhouse a year ago. They turn around the next night and they lose in a devastating 2-1 overtime game in which penalties, like they have this season, hurt them dearly.
It did, Reagan, and talking again with head coach Brennan Martin about that previous series, Michigan-Flint is a team that is not one to go down without a fight. They're a very fast team. They're a very physical team. You can expect to see some of that physicality here tonight.
Yeah, the Chippewas hold a 14-4-1-0 record in this series. They've played 19 games. They'll play games 20 and 21 here this weekend. So mentioned 2 of the last 4 games, Michael, have gone to overtime. Back on November 4th, 2022, Central Michigan won 6-5 here at Crystal Fieldhouse. And then last year, a year later, Michigan-Flint comes from behind and beats Central Michigan 2-1 for the first time since the 18-19 campaign. They've had one common opponent this year in Ferris State. Central Michigan and Michigan-Flint both picking up a win in their series against Ferris State, but also Michigan-Flint has the better in the head-to-head against common opponents. They tied Ferris State in the final game, whereas Central Michigan lost on opening night. Those are your 2 teams. We'll take a look at the players when we come back. It's the pregame show presented by SeamishIceHockey.com. Michigan-Flint and Central Michigan set to kick things off in about 20 minutes here on CCHN. As we bring it back, Radio Rinkside, Reagan Cleaves, Michael Rosenkrantz, ahead of Central Michigan and the Michigan-Flint Wolverines here on CCHN. Time now to take a look at our impact players tonight, Michael. We have one returning to the lineup in Isaac Gibbs and another stout defenseman, Sam Camara.
Yes, you do, Reagan. Isaac Gibbs returns to the lineup after not playing in last Saturday's matchup against Calvin, and it was a missing piece in that top line, but it really showed. You had the likes of Isaac Hopp and Jace Johnson trying to generate those scoring chances, but something was missing in that top line, and that just happened to be Isaac Gibbs. As you know, he leads the team in points. In his 9 games played, he's 7-5-12 on the campaign, leads the team, and with him coming back tonight, against Michigan-Flint. You also take a look at one of the all-time active leaders against Michigan-Flint and Isaac Gibbs. In his 6 game played here against this team, he has 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points. So he has experience at Crystal Fieldhouse. He has experience against this team, and he looks to get back on the right foot here today. As for my second impact player, I'm going to go with Sam Kamara. This might be a little interesting to some, but he's played in all 10 games. Yes, he only has 1 goal and 1 point on the campaign, but he's another great defender for the Central Michigan team. He's a hard worker, but when it comes time to helping your goaltender out, which I'll get to in a little bit, the defenders for Central Michigan have got to find ways to step up and help your goaltender out. But let's not forget, Sam Kamara did score the overtime winner 2 years ago at Crystal Fieldhouse when Central Michigan beat Michigan-Flint 6-5.
And for Kamara, that's one of only 6 goals that he's scored in his ACHA career, so he definitely has that history here. But on the other side of the ice, through 15 games, they've obviously got a larger sample size, but their top scorers are in the 2 of them are in the top 10 in the MCHC.
They are, Reagan. Let's start with Blaine Gore. He leads the team in goals and in points. In his 15 games played, he has 11 goals, 9 assists for 20 points on the campaign, and he's only a sophomore, so he's a very young player, but he has shown brightly through his first 15 games, and already with double-digit goals, you can expect to keep him on that high-octane offense tonight. And the second impact player for Michigan-Flint, I got to go with Zach Potter. He's another sophomore, but he generates a lot of scoring chances himself. He has 6 goals, 10 assists for 16 points. Number 1 and 2 in points on the team, respectively, for Michigan-Flint. And again, you talk about creating those scoring chances. He's been able to find lots of key Michigan-Flint players to get them on the score sheet for this Wolverines team.
How about those players in Gore and Potter on that top line for Michigan-Flint? But another key thing, Michigan-Flint is missing 3 of their top 6 forwards, Michael. Out of the lineup are Gavin Rose, Wesley Jung, and Brandon Pollock, all of whom are either injured or ineligible because in the case of Gavin Rose, he hasn't turned 18 yet. Central Michigan fans saw that with Jace Johnson throughout the first half of last season. Michigan-Flint will get Rose back to start next week, but right now they're missing a very good top producer. As for our keys to the game, Michael, talking with head coach Nick Karstens of Michigan-Flint, he was saying his team needs to start fast. They need to play a 60-minute game and leave it all out here on the ice. But you've had a chance to talk with head coach Brendan Martin for Central Michigan. What does CMU need to do to win the game here tonight?
Well, first things first, again, it's going to sound like a broken record, Reagan, but stay out of the penalty box. You got to stay disciplined. You got to play a full 60 minutes. And talking with head coach Brendan Martin, you also need to have a fast start. CMU has been notorious in their previous games to have a slow start and not really come out with energy. So one of my keys to the game is come out with that energy. Start fast. Have a good start. This is a series that you've had the upper hand in for a majority of the time as a club for Central Michigan. And another key that I have is keep the pressure on. You saw that example of Calvin's forechecking last weekend, and it was really that pressure that was all the difference for Central Michigan. And in a fast, physical game, this is CMU's chance where they've, again, utterly dominated the series, but this is their chance to bring on some forechecking pressure and back-checking pressure to be able to knock Michigan-Flint off kilter a little bit, to see it and tilt the ice in their favor. And one more key I got is to help your goaltender out. Isaac Leisner gets the nod tonight. He faced 57 shots last time against Calvin. While it's great for his stats, the shot count is simply too high. That's got to go down by a significant margin. It all starts with that back-checking pressure and helping your goaltender out. So those are my keys to the game, Reagan.
Those are your keys to the game, and we're steadily winding our way down to puck drop. The Wolverines and the Chippewas coming up in about 14 minutes, but first we'll step aside, come back with a look at the MCHC East and, more importantly, the ACHA rankings here on CCHS. well, I've already previewed it. This matchup between Central Michigan and Michigan-Flint is, at least in the overall terms of things, at the lower end of the MCHC East through the first 10 or so games for everybody in the division. Michigan-Flint sitting at an even .500 winning percentage overall. Central Michigan behind them at .300, but they bring up the rear. Michigan-Flint at 5, CMU at 6. But all that overall stuff doesn't matter anymore. You may have number 7 Michigan, you may have number 5 Lawrence Tech, and Oakland and Adrian all above you. But now we're getting into the meat of the season. We're getting into the point where these two teams, all that matters is the MCHC East Division play, those 10 games against your other divisional opponents, Michigan, Lawrence Tech, Oakland, Adrian, and tonight Michigan-Flint here for CMU. And again, this is the most important part of the season because you get that bid and that seed into the Vezina Cup championship tournament at the end of the year, both here at Crystal Fieldhouse for the initial rounds and then Patterson Ice Center later on, and that starts tonight. Not only Central Michigan and Michigan-Flint, but also the number 1 team overall in the division, Michigan, ranked at number 7 in the ACHA, takes on Adrian here this weekend. They will start things at 7:30. Actually, they did start things at 7:30 down at Arctic Edge of Canton. Here on this side of the state, Michigan 5-0 overall entering in today. Adrian 3-2. Adrian sitting 4th overall in the division, but they've got 10 games in hand on the Michigan-Flint Wolverines and 5 games in hand on Central Michigan. Both these two teams, Michael, have played a ton of games, especially against some very tough opponents, and that's reflected in the overall standings.
It is, Reagan, and you talk about a no more important time of season than divisional play. You see it all the time, and no matter what sport it is, you have to win your divisional games. There's those playoff implications on the line, the chance to get back to that Vezina Cup final that CMU is oh so desperate to get back to, especially a berth in the national tournament, which didn't happen for CMU last year, so a little bit of foreign territory for CMU, so you can argue they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder tonight.
And they certainly do. And again, this division, this conference is always so tough. Taking a look at the ACHA Top 10, Hope and Oakland battling it out here tonight in another MCHC East game. Hope and Oakland both 9-1 coming in, and it's a top 5 matchup in the ACHA. Again, the new rankings released earlier today. Hope, the number 1 spot. Oakland, the number 4. You couldn't have had a bigger matchup this early in the season.
No, you couldn't, Reagan. This is what it is in ACHA hockey. You get those gritty matchups that you look forward to, especially when the rankings come out. Gives chance to the team to see where they're at in the season. The battle of 9-1s, Oakland and Hope. Whew, that's a game to watch out for and to be certainly excited for.
And we'll keep an eye on that as we go along here tonight. They'll kick things off at 8:30 p.m. at Buffalo Wild Wings Arena before turning the series around tomorrow, like the Chippewas and Wolverines at 7:30 at Griff's Ice House. That's a look around the MCHC East and a little bit of a look around the ACHA. We'll get to that more going on in our out-of-town scoreboards during our intermissions. Time now to take a look at the scratches for Central Michigan. They scratched Jalen McCray, Maddox Grimes, and Andrew Porzonik again out for the start of this season. Goaltenders scratched Nick Wilson and Caleb Woolery, meaning Isaac Leisner and Lauren Jones are the two dressing for Central Michigan. On the other side of the ice, the Michigan-Flint Wolverines scratched Gavin Rose again. He's 17 years old for the moment. He'll turn 18 next week, but he's out of the lineup tonight as he is ineligible to play at the ACHA level. Wesley Jung and Brendan Pollock round out the scratches for Michigan-Flint. Both these two teams have the exact same roster size, and they've got the same number of scratches in 3. Michigan-Flint, though, will dress all 3 netminders. Speaking of which, we'll take a break. Michael will sit down with head coach Brendan Martin, and when we come back from that, we'll take a look at we'll hear the national anthem, then take a look at the starting netminders and starting lineups for both teams. We're just about 8 minutes away from puck drop. It's the opening day of division play. The Wolverines and the Chippewas coming up next on CCHN.
Welcome back inside Crystal Fieldhouse here with Central Michigan head coach Brendan Martin. Coach, I want to take you back to the first two periods against Calvin. Arguably, that was probably the best first two periods you've played where you really kept it close and it was knotted up each of the first two periods. Kind of taking the look back at those, just speak about what the team did well those two periods.
Yeah, well, they played together first and foremost, and they were playing with a level of intensity that us as a coaching staff have been waiting for them to come out with. So, it was fun hockey to watch, if I'm being honest with you. That's the kind of hockey that I want to see out of them every single night. I think they realize that. And with these guys, all it takes is one time for it to click, and then it kind of sticks with them. I don't know what it is, but that's all it takes is you just got to click once, and then we're good to go. So, yeah, those first two periods were great, and we spent majority of those periods on the kill too, while being able to maintain a tie game going into the third, where it's anyone's hockey game at that point. So, you look at it from that standpoint. We didn't really get that many opportunities to generate because we were in the box the entire game, it felt like. So moving forward this week, you got to clean that up, obviously, but the intensity that they played with, that's a team that can go out and play with anyone in the country,
Speaking of that intensity, you guys have had the upper hand in this series. You guys are 14-4, 1-0 all-time in this series against Michigan-Flint, and for the last few years, it has been a physical game. How do you think that physicality can carry over to tonight?
Well, I think it definitely will. They're always physical games. I mean, this is an MCHC East opponent, so there's like playoff seeding implications that are on the line in an early game like this. And just from my experience here, U of M Flint, they're never one to go down easy. They're gonna be physical. You know what you're gonna get out of them, and so I think for again tonight for these guys, they've been through games like this and they understand the intensity that they need to bring. So I'm excited to watch them play.
Isaac Gleisner gets the nod tonight. He faced 52 of 57 shots last time at Calvin, so a great performance on him, but ultimately it's that shot total, and you see that high due to help him out tonight.
Yeah, well, to start, we're going to stay out of the penalty box tonight. I mean, you can't take that many penalties and one, expect to win a game, but Gleisner stood on his head, and that was a big key as to why we were tied up going into the third period, even after taking all those penalties. So defensively, you have to clean up the way you play the game and staying out of the penalty box and playing a 5-on-5 game instead of 5-on-4, and then that shot total is going to come down, naturally from that. But even speaking with, playing defensive zone hockey, you have to make sure that you keep everything to the outside. You're not allowing anything inside the dots here, as I like to call them, or inside the house, as I say to the team. Keep everything to the outside, limit those opportunities, wait for them to turn the puck over, make a good D play, get the puck out of the zone, and you're going back down. So
one of the players I want to touch on is Sam Kamara. He's played in all 10 games. He only scored 1 point on the season, but he has had some success here at Crystal Fieldhouse. He scored the overtime winner here 2 years ago when it was a final of 6-5. Although he scored 1 point to the season, do you think he's due for something here tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think he really looks at it as a point total and how he's not contributing in that category. He contributes in his defensive play and his leadership of the team. So I think he's due in some sort to get some points, but I think he's playing pretty solid hockey right now. And so I'm just looking for him to kind of take that next step and be consistent with it.
And finally, Coach, what are some keys to tonight's matchup to get a win against U of M Flint?
Well, it's for sure going to be stay out of the box, for one. You have to play 5-on-5 hockey with these guys, and naturally you have to make sure you pick up that intensity right from the start. You can't take 5-10 minutes off in a game like we've talked about here the last couple weeks now. You have to make sure that you're staying engaged for a full 60 minutes. So as long as they do that, we feel pretty confident tonight.
Coach, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
That was Central Michigan head coach Brendan Martin. Stay with us. More after this from Crystal Fieldhouse on CCHN. Welcome back inside Crystal Fieldhouse here with Central Michigan head coach Starting goaltenders ahead of tonight's contest for the University of Michigan-Flint Wolverines and your Central Michigan Chippewas. For the Wolverines, they'll turn to freshman Alex Noble, who's tied in games played for the Wolverines at 9. He's 2-4 on the season with a .369 goals against average and an .889 save percentage. For your Central Michigan Chippewas, they turn to Isaac Gleisner, who in 4 games has an 0-3 record with a .543 goals against average and an .895 save percentage.
As the public address system is pleading the fans, everybody's jumping around, at least in their heads, here at Crystal Fieldhouse. We are set to go for MCHC East Division action. Central Michigan and the Michigan-Flint Wolverines. The Chippewas turn to that top line of Bottles, Campbell, and Bishop, Martin, and Hutton on the defense. For Michigan-Flint, they go with Bryce Moe, Brendan Miles, Juan Baxa, the forwards, and defending them, and behind them are Grayson Meisner and Nick Temple. We got 20 minutes on the clock here from Crystal Fieldhouse. Puck drop at center, and the MCHC East Division is underway here in division play. Central Michigan will work from left to right here in this opening period. All black. New alternates debuted here tonight with gold numerals, maroon and gold trim, maroon helmets, maroon gloves, black pants, and black socks. They will go from left to right, and Michigan-Flint will go from right to left. And the jerseys they debuted not a couple of years ago, all maize with blue and white trim, blue numerals, blue helmets and gloves and pants, along with some maize socks. Back and forth action to start here in the first 35 seconds. Michigan-Flint has it back at their own end now. They'll break out ahead. A pass ahead for Baxa goes just too far for him off the stick of Bryce Moe, and it'll be icing against Michigan-Flint. 43 seconds gone here in this first period.
You're starting to see that fast start from both teams, Reagan, transitioning back and forth on the ice, and it'll be a quick face-off in the Wolverine end for Central Michigan. A good first test here to see what they can do in the offensive zone.
Yeah, draw the left of Alex Noble out of Manistee High School. Played 4 seasons with them in his senior year. Posted a .873 save percentage. Off the face-off, Central Michigan gets a chance, but it's back in the right wing corner. Battling for it, there's the Chippewas. They play it down low. It's Maddox Grimes out there for Central Michigan. Pulling it free. Here's a shot that was saved and held on to by the netminder Noble, and we'll have another stoppage of play exactly 1 minute into this hockey game.
Good first start for Central Michigan. They're putting that pressure in the offensive zone and got a shot off on Noble. He made a comfortable save, but it'll be back-to-back face-offs in the offensive zone.
1 minute gone. Face-off to the right of Alex Noble. Michigan-Flint end to our right. And it's one back. Kamara's shot through traffic will deflect to the near side corner boards, but will be battled for and eventually pulled free by the Wolverines. They cough it up, though. They rim it up the boards. Gilgren kept it alive. His shot goes wide. Rebound skitters up to the left point, where Kamara couldn't keep it in, and will have to chase it back to his own line with Brendan Miles in pursuit. Miles will force Kamara behind his own goal. He reverses to the near side for Gilgren. Pass up the right wing, too hard for Siraki. It'll go the length of the ice, and icing the call with 1 minute and 30 seconds gone. Referees tonight working a 2-referee, 1 linesman crew. So, Michael, you and I have to be wary of what we say stoppages are for. The referees are going to be calling the icings for us here tonight.
Absolutely, Reagan.
Face off the left of Isaac Gleisner. 1 minute and 30 seconds in. Draw quickly won by Central Michigan. Looks like Maddox Grimes is out there, but indeed it's Connor Morgan wearing Maddox's jersey. You have to wonder why these nice new black alternates, and you can't get Connor Morgan his own jersey, unless I am mistaking him for Grimes. Puck down to the neutral zone. It's fed up ahead on right wing for the Wolverines. Austin Hinkson, the freshman out of Manistee, will press it behind the net where it's taken by Gore. His pass up the wing taken by Hinkson, trying to keep it in, but he's worked over, and it'll be sent down the ice by Nick Kuhn. Out of his net to stop it is Alex Noble. Will play it into the near side corner. Michigan-Flint up the wing. A pass ahead. 2-on-1 almost developed. The puck was just too far for Hinkson on right wing. Behind the net, Central Michigan rims it around to the near side. It'll be taken out by Isaac Hopp. He's out there with Jace Johnson. His pass intended for Johnson was knocked away, and the puck is loose at center ice. Isaac Gibbs back out there for Central Michigan after serving that 1-game suspension for the head contact disqualification penalty. Now he takes the puck, skating in across the line, dropped it back for Hopp. He ripped it into the top right corner, but it was snagged out of the air by Alex Noble. 17-19 to go in this opening period. It's been a back-and-forth hockey game.
It has, Reagan, and I like what Isaac Gibbs has been starting out. He lays the body on Blaine Gores in the offensive zone, allowing that contact, and then he hustles back into the far corner to help Central Michigan get back in the offensive zone ultimately.
Faced off to the left of the Michigan-Flint net, won by CMU. Clements kept it in at the line off the face-off. It's sent behind the goal. Chase Johnson wheels around with it, wearing number 11 for the first time this season with the new uniforms. He's been wearing his old 13 and at home and on the road so far. Isaac Gibbs down in the corner. Crunch to the boards. Here is Clements. Worked free for Isaac Gibbs. Tried to put this puck up onto his stick to try the lacrosse move, but it was knocked off fairly easily, and away come the Wolverines. Blake Berger, the leading scorer. Pardon me. One of the top freshmen here for Michigan-Flint. Into the zone. His shot went wide. It's sent right back around from whence it came. Here's a shot from the right wing half wall. Deflected up and out of play. Shot came from Grayson Meisner, the captain on the right wing. And it's up and out of play. 16:36 to go in this opening period.
That's a heads-up shot from Meisner. Try to catch Gleisner off guard. He calmly makes the stop with the pads, and that puck is deflected up and out. And this is going to be a good test for Central Michigan. They're getting a face-off back in their own end. We'll see how this pressure comes on from Michigan-Flint, but looking for a key defensive stop is CMU.
Over the first 3.5 minutes or so, Mike, we haven't seen a ton of grade A scoring chances for either team, but really this is the first time Michigan-Flint's possessed the puck in their own zone. Here's a quick shot off the face-off from the point. Devin Gardner letting it go. And it's gloved out of the air once again by Gleisner. Talking about Gleisner, he's struggled in his career coming into this season. Career-wise, he's got a .637 goals against average, but he's played for some honestly dreadful teams, Michael. Finlandia before they folded. Eastern Michigan at M1 level before they folded, and he's finally found a home here at Central Michigan. Now look out, a giveaway. Working right in, a shot over top of the glove. Aaron Steiger working in, picked off a puck at the offensive blue line for the Wolverines, worked right into the slot, and his shot was lifted just ever so high. 16:19 to go in this opening period.
Those are the kind of turnovers that CMU can't have. Steiger's not going to miss many of those, but way to get the glove up was Isaac Gleisner to get it up and out of play.
Steiger, the sophomore, yet to score a goal or register a point this season, though he's got 2 and 5 respectively for 7 points. The Billings, Montana native will head off to the bench, and Michigan-Flint will win the faceoff yet again. Boy, CMU has not been able to win many faceoffs here to start this hockey game. On the left wing boards right in front of us here at the broadcast booth, it's chopped into the slot. Chris Martin, the captain, will send that out in front. Isaac Gleisner had to be careful not to knock that into his own net. Michigan-Flint, though, now controls behind the goal. They'll play it to the near side. Blaine Gore crunched up against the boards. His stick got caught up in the netting. He lost it. Shot on goal, saved. And it's free on the far half boards. Conlon Carpenter worked over. And Chris Martin Owen Campbell trying to work things out for Central Michigan. He'll play it off the near boards and out to center. 15:38 to go in the opening period. Puck dribbles over the line where it's taken by Michigan-Flint in their own end. They'll play it up the wing. Look out behind the defense. Hinkson, he's got the puck, but a good stick play there by Martin in the corner to knock the puck off of the attacker's stick. Now up the right wing, Nathan Bottles for Central Michigan. Into the zone. He'll protect the puck to the outside. Working there with Palacio. Puck came free to the point, kept in, shot was blocked, rebound, comes back up to the point where it's kept in there by Siraki. We'll swing it around behind the goal. Poked ahead to the far side for Hinkson for the Wolverines. He fed it on ahead. The alternate captain, Zach Potter, couldn't control it, and Central Michigan will fling that right in front of the Michigan-Flint boards, in the front of the Michigan-Flint bench. Almost caught them in too many men. Play back out at center. Central Michigan will fling it on in. Icing waved off. We'll pass the 5-minute mark of this opening period. Look out. Morgan in the slot. Dangles. He fires. Save by the netminder Noble. He holds on with 5:24 gone. Central Michigan, the last couple minutes have been a little bit more flowy rather than the start and stop we saw at the beginning of that, but it's been a lot of back and forth, some chances for both teams.
And a chance right there, Reagan. Connor Morgan, good job to stick with the puck. He was knocked off balance rather easily, but able to stick with the puck and get a shot off on Alex Noble, and although he calmly saves it, that's a good scoring chance for Central Michigan.
Michigan-Flint trying to send their top defensive pair of Palacio and Carpenter out, but it was after the referee had finished letting them change, so they're sent back, and indeed Out there is their second line in Meisner. Here's a shot from the right point by Gilgren, deflected in front. Michigan-Flint on the rebound. It's back up to the line, kept in, but turned over by CMU, and a pass ahead on the left wing, just too far for Mo, and it's going to be a close icing call. Mo couldn't beat out Josh Gilgren. Face off back in the Michigan-Flint end with 14:19 to go.
Good hustle there from both Gilgren there and Michigan-Flint. Unable to win the race, and it's a key face-off in Central Michigan's own end. They had a couple of key face-offs in the own end that they were able to win, and that was a hustle between Gilgren and Bryce Moe for Michigan.
Offensive zone face-off will bounce into the far corner for CMU. They're beaten to it, though, defensively by Brendan Miles. The captain for the Wolverines will try and clear it out. He's taken down from behind, and the puck loose at center will be dumped in here by Isaac Hopp. Behind the net, corralled by Carl Blevins. And Michigan-Flint on the breakout again. Another head pass too far for Mo, and this time it's Clements back there to control for the maroon and gold, or should I say black, maroon, and gold here tonight. Central Michigan wearing those rather sharp black uniforms. Isaac Hopp on the near side defensively. Can't control the puck. Slapped in deep by Boxa. Clements is able to poke it out here. Ahead on right wing to Isaac Gibbs. He gets it on ahead to Jace Johnson. Across the line left side, will dump it in wide of goal. Noble paddles it behind the net, where it's scooped over to the near side. Clements pinching in, battling there with Steiger. The two commence dueling. And with 13-15, the puck will, to go in this period, the puck will pop free, and the Wolverines clear it back to the Central Michigan line. Bouncing puck in the neutral zone will be flopped in wide of Gleisner. Icing waved off. Looked out. This one will be headed into the netting. If not for the netting, it would probably have hit either you, me, or Joe Grogan sitting next to us. So good thing the netting was there, eh?
Absolutely, Reagan. You saw me have a pretty big reaction to that. Good thing that netting was there, but hey, you know, it couldn't have poked through the netting. One of us would have possibly gotten a souvenir here tonight.
That would have been a fun souvenir. There is a hole. I was taking my pregame walk directly behind what is now the Central Michigan net. A puck could easily go through there. Here's a shot from the point on the left side by Palacio, blockered away by Gleisner. Michigan-Flint controls in the offensive zone once more. Down in the left wing corner to our left, bouncing puck corralled here by Potter. He poked it free to the line, taken up by Ryan Grollo, dresses the extra skater for Central Michigan, dumps it in, and it's cleared back out to center by the Maize and Blue. Hutton will play it near side defensively to the captain in Chris Martin. They play catch, and now Hutton cuts through center. He coughed it up, controlled now by the Wolverines, playing Gore. Across that line, he'll take a quick shot along the ice, sticked away by Gleisner. Rimmed around the boards to the far side, Hinkson. Let it go to the point. Here's a shot bouncing through the crease. It'll wind up in the near corner. Chippewas able to get to it. Julian Johnson able to poke it ahead, wearing 93 tonight for the Chippewas. Again, same situation as his brother, changed his number over the offseason and has yet to wear 93 until tonight. Still waiting on the other jerseys to come in. Bouncing puck at center, and we mentioned those jerseys, Michael. These jerseys not created by Rebirth, which is Central Michigan's normal uniform provider. These are created by a new sponsor in 5-hole uniforms, and boy, they turned out a slick product. Now Bishop across the line trying to find Campbell on the back door, couldn't do it, and it's sent back out to center, where at neutral ice, it'll be dumped in here by Josh Gilgren. Noble will play it off to the corner. It'll be held in behind the goal. Bishop plays with it in the far corner. Pass deflected up to the point, kept in by Camara. He'll play it down low, where it's deflected into the corner far side by Bishop. Again, neither team really showing any explosive opportunities here to start this game, Michael. Lots of back and forth action, even on the shots, but really Michigan-Flint, if anything, has shown a little bit more pressure here the last couple of minutes.
They really have, Reagan, and it shows. They're able to match Central Michigan in their pace of play, step for step, and not a lot of, as you mentioned again, not a lot of good scoring chances for either team yet. Maybe a couple here and there, but it's really been back and forth, and it's all going to be down to who can generate the better scoring chance to possibly get themselves on the board. But so far, both teams matching each other step for step.
Chippewas sent the puck for icing. Face off to the left of Gleisner. Won by the Wolverines. Shot from the right point. Deflected from multiple bodies out in front. Now Gilgren hauled down in front. May have dove a little bit as he got taken down by Bryce Moe. Meanwhile, the other way come the Chippewas. Nick Kuhn with a nifty move into the corner. He's behind the net, trying to center it out in front. It's loose, and the net comes off its moorings. Michigan-Flint unable to change. We'll have a stoppage of play with 10:25 to go in the opening period.
Fans, don't forget the CMU Club Hockey Network YouTube channel is your one-stop shop for highlights, exclusive interviews, and full game broadcasts for CMU Men's Division III, Men's Division II, and Women's Division II hockey. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so as to never to miss a moment of Chippewa hockey. CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
It's a busy weekend here on CCHN. All three teams in action. Here's a shot saved by Noble. The rebound is cleared to the slot, kept alive, though, by Michigan-Flint, and they'll start the breakout up the right wing. Across that line, the captain and Brennan Miles. He'll let a sharp angle shot go, patted away by Gleisner. We've mentioned the black uniforms. Boy, his pad set looks nice. All black, including a black helmet. Now Jace Johnson into the offensive end for Central Michigan. Picking the puck up in the right wing corner, evades a check, back up to the line. He holds it there, sends it down the wall. Here's Bowerson. His shot was knocked wide. And the Wolverines are able to collect the rebound on the near side, send it the length of the ice, this time for icing with 9:44 to go. As Bowerson comes back and wins the race, of which there was no other contested. And I mean, we talked about that busy weekend for CCHN here. We've got the Michigan-Flint series. But for the M3 team, the Aurora series for the Women's Division II team. Second time those two teams will ever face off. Aurora, a fairly new program in the Women's Division II. And then, how about a rivalry weekend, eh? Western Michigan and Central Michigan facing off on the ice for the first time in quite some time. The Men's Division I Western Michigan Stallions took down your D2 Chippewas as this is deflected up and out of play on a dump-in with 9:25 to go. Is it me or was it 9:25 at the last stoppage of play?
Last stoppage of play, it was at 9:43. I don't think the clock exactly got going to begin with because it seemed like a very slow-moving 18 seconds there.
I thought I'd have been yapping for a little bit longer.
You might have, and I'm just... But no hard, no foul, Reagan.
That's what they pay me to do, eh?
Exactly.
Playback underway down below us. Again, we're one of the more cozy barns in the MCHC East. Central Michigan here at the Crystal Field House. Michigan-Flint has called this barn home for quite some time since their 07 inaugural season. Big hit along the corner causes a turnover. Campbell in the slot tries to forward it down low, but knocked away from Bottles, and away come the Wolverines up right wing. Here comes Austin Hinkson. This top line out there. Central Michigan bats this on ahead. They'll play it. And a hand pass is called. Face-off back in the Central Michigan end. 8:48 to go. This time the clock moved.
Yes, it did, Reagan. And that hand pass, it was a good bat down by Central Michigan and just went too far forward with that right hand. And it seemed pretty evident that even though if you're going to touch up, it was going to be called a hand pass. So Central Michigan will get it face-off in their own end, trying to make a defensive stand.
False start for Central Michigan on the face-off. Andrew Siraki a little bit too eager to get into the thick of things. And good reason he's in there to win the face-off and send it out to center ice for Central Michigan, even though he was on the wing. Puck played back into the maroon and gold end. They sky it out to center ice, kicked to the near boards by Bottles. Ahead on right wing, trying to go after the loose puck is number 27 in black. Instead, it's taken by the maize and blue and dumped down the ice back to the Central Michigan blue line. Hinkson knocked down a clearing attempt from Martin, and the Wolverines will try to set up shop in the offensive end. They cough it up, though, up the right wing. Across the line, here's a shot deflected up and out of play with 8:14 to go here in this opening period. It's been back and forth, and it's been a fun game so far, though neither team really generating any sort of grade A scoring chances thus far.
No, not really, but I like what Lucas Hutton did there. Working up the near wing, he's hustling down as quick as he can to try and keep that play alive, and Central Michigan getting another face-off in the offensive zone.
And they win the face-off up the right wing point. Here's a long shot blockered away as Gilgren let that go from the right point. Played down the wall by Camara. Got caught up in the figure skating harness that resides just above the hash marks. Central Michigan, though, trying to work it free from the corner. Bouncing puck out in front. It'll dribble in on Noble, and he will hold. 7:54 to go in this opening period. Alex Noble, the freshman out of Manistee, we already mentioned, went to Manistee High School. But he's already shown well in his freshman season. 9 games played, posting an .889 save percentage. But I really want to talk about that Northwood game, Michael. He faced 51 shots against Northwood, made 48 saves in the loss. He was sharp that night, and a really big reason why Michigan-Flint stayed in the game against a men's Division I opponent. Now we got a penalty coming up. It'll be a hooking call. And so we'll have our first penalty of the afternoon. 7:39 to go in this opening period.
Getting a little bit too handsy there. Looks to be Carl Blevins for Michigan, wearing 18 in the maize and blue. One of the many freshmen for this Michigan-Flint team. Central Michigan is going to go on the power play for the first time tonight. And after a weekend of going 0 for 6, something arguably has got to change on that power play, Reagan.
This power play needs a jump start. 0 for 6 in their last 2 games. And they're 3 for 12 in their last 4, dating back to that Davenport series. And this one doesn't get a good start. It's the faceoff won by Michigan-Flint sent down the ice, and now Chris Martin will play it back defensively for the Chippewas. He'll trade places with Isaac Gibbs, and the senior will move things up. Across that line left side, ducking down into the corner, swings it around the boards. Up at the right point, Martin slides it across to the point, but it couldn't be kept in by Campbell, and he'll wheel at center. Already 30 seconds gone in this first power play of the night for Central Michigan. There's a centering feed, knocked away into the corner. Connor Morgan there to play it for Central. He'll work it up to the point for Martin. Back to Morgan. He'll step down into the corner, centering feed. Here's a shot, saved by Noble. Rebound cleared up to the line and kept in by Martin. Second opportunity, though, flipped out by the maize and blue, and it's down the ice. 62 seconds to go in this first power play of the night. Sam Camaro will hold behind his own goal. Pressured here by Melody, and he'll work up the right wing. Camaro across that line, ducking down into the circle. A shot. He snapped that one just wide. Comes back up to the point. Kept alive by Gilgren. He'll slide it down into the circle. Played there by Bishop. Here's Jace Johnson. Back up to the point for Gilgren. He'll hold it left side. Dropped it down into the corner for Jace Johnson. His shot was blocked, and the net has come off from behind Noble, and we'll have a stoppage of play with 28 seconds to go in the power play.
Great way for Josh Gilgren to keep that puck in. That offensive zone pressure doesn't continue unless Josh Gilgren keeps that puck in. He does exactly that. Good offensive pressure here late for CMU in this power play with 28 seconds to go. See if they can get a key faceoff win here.
6:05 to go in the period. Michigan-Flint wins that defensive zone faceoff, skies it down the ice from right to left, and it'll be collected from beside his own goal by Josh Gilgren. Pass up the right wing, taken by Bishop. Helted it at the line, slided across. Johnson in, scores! Jace Johnson, a power play tally. 6:49 to go in the opening period. Central Michigan strikes first.
That is a great pass up ahead, up the near side to start that offensive zone pressure. How about that pass to Jace Johnson, who was streaking down the far side and ripping a shot past Alex Noble. CMU is starting 100% on the power play. That's a good way to get back on the right foot.
Way to snap an 0 for 6 streak in that Calvin series. But again, Calvin was a big test for Central Michigan. Number 2 in the country now after the first ranking period, in part because of the 7-1 win against Central Michigan. But I think, frankly, that speed and the forecheck has helped Central Michigan kind of get back into the flow of where they want to be as a team at this point in the season. Playback underway. Michigan-Flint sends it down the ice. Icing will be waved off. Chasing back, here is Lucas Hutton. Will play it from behind his own goal, pressured by Potter. Up the left wing, pass too far, and it'll be knocked down at center. Pinball collected here by Bottles. Stepping through, tried to deke to the outside. He's hauled down, no penalty, and he'll be back out to center, where it neutralized. Campbell had the puck knocked off his stick. Up the right wing, Carpenter, long shot in. Big, juicy rebound into the slot. Loose puck down into the corner. Backed up to the point by Gore. Here's a shot, save, rebound will flop across the way. Carpenter will slide it behind the net. Hinkson in the far corner, lost it. Got it to Gore behind the net, the leading scorer for the Wolverines. Plays it along the half boards. Back up top, here for Blasio. He holds at the line, shot it on the right wing corner, tried to play the geometry game. This time, Campbell's able to control, flip it up. It's deflected out of play off of a Michigan stick. Both teams will be allowed to change.
Scary rebound for Isaac Gleisner coming there to Blaine Gore. That's someone who you do not wanting an open and point-blank shot against you. Central Michigan able to get the stick on the ice and flip that puck out of play to sort of cool things down a little bit.
Gore, the sophomore out of White River Junction, Vermont. Played 50 games, his 50th a weekend ago against Illinois State. A team which both these two teams have seen in the last couple of years. Pass ahead too far for its intended target, wearing a black uniform, and now Michigan-Flint will play behind their own end, trying to get out right to left here. Ahead on right wing, Nick Temple across the line. The freshman steps in with a shot deflected high. Rebound on the near side, swung around by Bryce Moe. Collected behind the net, centering feet loose in the left wing circle, and it's cleared out by Central Michigan. And here's Armentrout up the wing. He's got Miller out there with him for the Chippewas. Behind the net, knocked away, and the Wolverines will play it up to the line. Kept alive by Clements, though we couldn't keep it in. He'll play defensively. Out there with Josh Gilgren right now. Long dump in from the neutral zone, courtesy of Nick Temple. Battle for it ensues in the corner. Pulled free by the men in black. Siraki plays it up the wing. Ahead here's Connor Morgan across that line. Steps into the circle, a shot, and he scores! Connor Morgan snipes it top right corner. CMU, 2 quick goals. It's 2-zip.
That's a great offensive play by Connor Morgan. He uses his speed up the far wing. He's not really contested as he gets into the offensive zone, and that gives him a shooting lane to get it right past Alex Noble. A quick start for Central Michigan. A power play tally, and now one on even strength, and they're up 2-0 over Michigan-Flint.
This is exactly what Central Michigan needed. Connor Morgan started hot this season with 6 points in the first 8 games. He's cooled off since, only points in just 1 game since, but he snaps a 2-game pointless streak with his goal here tonight. That's goal number 6 on the year, and the Orchard Lake St. Mary grad has extended this lead to 2 for Central Michigan. Goals from Jace Johnson and Connor Morgan have put things for Central Michigan right where they want them. First time in a while they've had such a first period lead. Now they have to defend it. Under 3 to go in the opening frame. Stay with us for the first intermission report. Michael and I will discuss this first period and then take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and discuss those all-important first ACHA Division III rankings. Camara back up at neutral ice. Play got caught up in the linesman right in front of the entrance door at center. Jace Johnson pulled it free, steps across the line, in with a shot blockered away to the right wing corner by the netminder Noble. Loose puck bouncing around. Chippewas couldn't pull it free, and instead the Wolverines will march up ice. Melody will send it wide of goal. Karam's out in front, kept in at the point, though, on the clearing attempt by Hinkson. He steps into the circle, lifts a shot on the backhand wide. It's behind the net once again for Potter. Here's a shot, Hinkson save, rebound is cleared to the corner. Off the end boards and out. Hop had that poked ahead to Johnson, but it was knocked away from him, and the Wolverines will play back. 18 minutes gone in this opening period. CMU goals from Jace Johnson and Connor Morgan lead this thing 2-0 here from Burton. Puck tied up at center, squirts free to the Chippewa line. Martin played it ahead, Hinkson has it. And with the white cage, will wheel and deal at center. Harassed across the line, tried to step in with a shot. That was blocked. He comes back into the corner. Sam Camara will hold behind his net. 92 seconds to go in this first period. Way to the near side. Fired on ahead by Placio. It'll swing around the boards. Camara across the way. He'll play it off the end boards to the near side. Isaac Hop. He'll play it along the hash marks and out to center for Jace Johnson in a 2-on-2. The sophomore steps to the outside, tried to backhand that down in front. It was knocked away. His centering feed, after he got it back, cleared to the line and not out. Martin kept it alive, swings it over the near side for Gibbs. Centering feed, look out, Johnson's got time and space, and his backhand bid was denied here by Noble. Rebound at the side of the net, Johnson applying pressure. And the freshman from Manistee will hold on with 58 ticks of the clock to go in the opening frame.
Great pressure from Jace Johnson. He's staying in that centering feed, creating traffic for Alex Noble. Central Michigan has been doing a good job so far getting traffic out in front of the freshman netminder for Michigan, and this kind of pressure is going to serve you well in this contest, and CMU certainly doing a good job at that.
Out at center, Michigan-Flint trying to play it on ahead. They chop it away from Bishop after he caused a turnover, and they'll play it back defensively. Will the maize and blue. Up on the right wing, knocked ahead, and it's back down behind the net. It'll be taken here by Hutton, across to the near side. Batted up at the point, kept in. Bishop, though, controls for the black and maroon. It'll be played at center, sent in wide of Gleisner. 24 seconds to go in this opening period. 2-0 CMU leads. They're trying to break out of their own zone, though, and that's been something that's been quite difficult for them here in this opening 20 minutes, despite looking to come out of it with a 2-goal lead. This will be sent down the ice. Icing waved off. Great hustle by Nathan Bottles. He tried to poke it out in front. Nobody home. Battle for it ensues in the right wing corner. Feet out in front. Campbell snapped it wide. Rebound at the point. Hutton kept it in. His shot came too late. Whistle goes. Buzzer goes. Time expires here in this opening period. And again, right before that happened, we were talking about this, Michael. 2-0 is the lead you want coming out of this. However, things could have gone a lot better.
It really could have, Reagan, and you mentioned that pressure in CMU's own end. Michigan-Flint is keeping that pressure on and giving the Chippewas a difficult time to break out of their own end, and that could be a key part and a good locker room discussion for head coach Brendan Martin is finding ways to get out of your own end and creating more of those scoring chances, which were a little few and far between in that first period until the latter half.
Yeah, Central Michigan didn't have very many scoring chances in that first period, but they certainly took advantage of the ones they did. They'll take a 2-0 lead into the break and into the locker rooms. We'll step aside and come back with the intermission report here on CCHN. "20 minutes in the books here at Crystal Fieldhouse. Central Michigan up 2-0 after one period of play. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Reagan Cleese, Michael Rosenkrantz, and a new formatted intermission report. Haven't had two of us on in a while. Figured we'd try it out and have some fun here tonight. And boy, it's been a fun first period for Central Michigan, Michael. It's been a long time since they've scored the opening tally in a game against a team that's fairly decent, that's won some games. Obviously, Davenport really struggled through the opening part of their season, but Central Michigan up to a fast start, up 2-0 on goals from predictable goal scorers.
Yes, absolutely, Reagan. You're starting with the first goal coming from one of the guys on your top line in Jace Johnson, who has continued to shine so brightly for the Central Michigan team. He now has 11 goals on the campaign. He continues to lead the team in goals. 10 goals now for Jace Johnson. I was looking at games played, which is his 11th tonight, but either way, he's got double-digit goals on the season so far, and that's a good way to get him started here tonight. It was a great pass that was kept in just at the right point. Jace Johnson was streaking down the far side of the ice, picked a pass, and just blistered a shot past Alex Noble to make it 1-0. And Connor Morgan picking up a goal of his own. Hasn't scored too many himself, but picking up his 6th goal of the campaign. That's got to be a good feeling for him to get back on the score sheet.
Yeah, indeed. It does have to be a good feeling for Connor Morgan. His first goal in now 4 games since he last scored his first goal. And he's now got 2 goals in the last 6 games for him after a very hot start. It's good to see him back out on the score sheet. Important to mention that Jace Johnson goal at 14-11 was a power play tally with about 11 seconds left on the man advantage with Blevins in the box for a hook. So Central Michigan might go out to a 2-0 lead and a good start in the power play, which has struggled as of late.
It has, Reagan. This is the time that the power play had to turn around, and it turned around in the right way. You go 0 for 6 on the weekend and having a really just ugly streak on that power play, and it was turned around in the right way. You're staying out of the box so far if you're Central Michigan. Carl Blevins going in the box for Michigan-Flint. You were able to capitalize on the power play with some great keep-ins and good awareness and good cycling of the puck as well for Central Michigan to keep that offensive pressure going. And they're 1 for 1 so far on the power play. They look to add to that later in this contest.
Only one penalty in that opening frame, and it went to Michigan. Central Michigan, again, capitalized on it, as we've already mentioned. 14-8, the shots on goal for CMU. Again, it's been a while since they've led a period in shots on goal, and they do it here in the opening frame, 14-8. Some situational statistics for all you numbers-minded folk at home, and simply to satisfy my fascination with the numbers of the game. When Central Michigan leading after 1 period of play, they are undefeated this season. They led in both games against Davenport, and they swept the Panthers fairly easily, outscoring them 19-2. We'll see what the rest of this game holds. We'll step aside, but when we come back, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, take a look at how CMU hockey has done, as well as some other Chippewas here on the athletic side of things. We're in the first intermission, 2-0. Central Michigan leads after 20. We'll be back with more on the Intermission Report here on CCHN. Back here, Radio Rinkside at Crystal Fieldhouse. Reagan, please, Michael Rosenkrantz with you here. Central Michigan up 2-0. But elsewhere in CMU hockey, that is a familiar score, except instead of after 1 period of play. The Women's Division II team up 2-0 at the end of 2. Parker Morrison and Derek Steele are on the call for you from Martin Ice Arena. They'll regain the series tomorrow at 12:30. Third period is actually underway. Still 2-0. You can watch that on CCHN. Again, speaking of watching, we're radio tonight because, frankly, we don't have the people to help us out with video. If you want to watch the game, you can find the Flint Hockey Network, where Tom Garavaglia does a fantastic job. Longtime member of this Michigan-Flint team and staff. Officially an assistant coach, but he does a great job running their broadcasts. A member of the team from its inaugural season in 2007. This is his 3rd year on the Flint staff, but he and everybody else at the Flint Hockey Network does a great job. If you want to catch a Michigan-Flint hockey game, there's very little better ways to do it. So credit to him. But back to the out-of-town scoreboard. In rivalry action, Men's Division II unfortunately falling 4-3 at home against Western Michigan, and that was a tough game. Lots of penalties created, but they get to turn around and play at one of the best NCAA barns there is tomorrow.
It's a tough way to lose to a rival, no doubt, Reagan, but when you go to that NCAA barn tomorrow for Central Michigan, the feelings are high, the emotions are high, the energy is going to be ever so present tomorrow on the ice. So Central Michigan will look to take revenge against their bitter rival tomorrow night at 8:15.
Elsewhere in Central Michigan athletics, soccer took on Buffalo, and boy, was that a bit of an upset. Although it was a 0-0 draw, Buffalo sitting second in the MAC in that entering into the contest. They hit 2 posts, a crossbar and a left post in that one, and Central Michigan really only generated 1 scoring chance in that second half. It was all Buffalo, but the Chippewas, who have struggled this season, escaped with a draw against a very good team.
They do escape with a draw against a very good team, but Buffalo in that game, you might say they played spoiler because CMU unfortunately also missed the MAC tournament bid with that 0-0 draw. So unfortunately their season comes to a close. It's not the result you want to see for Central Michigan. They had a good season this
with a 3-2 5-set victory over the Ohio Bobcats. Again, they swept Buffalo in 3-1 and 3-2 last weekend, and they'll have a chance to even further that lead in the MAC tournament with a game tomorrow against Ohio at 4 p.m. Speaking of Ohio games, field hockey took on Ohio. They lost 3-2 today. They'll take on Ohio State to continue that Ohio road trip down in the Ohio River Valley at 1 p.m. tomorrow down in Columbus. The cross country is in part of the MAC championships down at Ball State in Muncie, Indiana this weekend. Men's basketball and women's basketball getting things underway on Monday. Women's hosts Coastal Carolina at 6:30 p.m. Men's basketball hosting South Alabama. On the road at South Alabama, at 8 p.m. on Monday. And, of course, football, we can't go without mentioning it. They take on Bowling Green in the first of a Tuesday football slate for them in the month of November. I don't know who started that, but I think we need to examine the head of whoever decided to put college football on a Tuesday.
I would have to agree with you, Reagan. Midweek Maction is an interesting phenomenon here for teams like Central Michigan. I'm not the biggest fan of midweek Maction. College football is often and normally reserved for weekends, and that's quite the best time to do it rather than during the week.
Now, again, the answer is always money, money, money. But if you look at the crowds, a 35,000-seat Kelly Short Stadium ain't going to draw anywhere close to that on a weekday night when students have what's called class the next day. Nobody wants to stay up. Well, I mean, college students in general stay up that late anyway, but they've all got studying and homework or other things which not fit for air to talk about. But nonetheless, that's how things have settled out here across the Chippewa athletic schedule. We'll get to the ACHA Top 10 once the second period gets underway. Speaking of which, that's about 4 minutes away. We'll step aside, catch our breaths, and be back with the play-by-play of period number 2 here on CCHN. 2-0. Central Michigan leads over Michigan-Flint here on CCHN. back for period number 2. Both teams making their way out of the dressing room and onto the ice down below us in what's got to be one of the best positions to call a hockey game in the division. Not many other places are you, 15 feet from the glass and up as far as we can see. It's a fantastic view for that, but also, especially for you, Michael, they got the heaters.
Yes, they do, Reagan. We always joke about, I sure picked a great sport to call in hockey, but it's not good when you get as cold as I do in a matter of minutes. And thank goodness they got the heaters, or else I'd be utterly shaking right now.
On the other hand, I'm sweating buckets. Nonetheless, play is underway here to start this second period. Michigan-Flint attacking left to right. Your Chippewas right to left in those new black uniforms. And as much as everybody is in all black, Isaac Leisner especially wearing black mask with a white cage, all black pads with maroon and gold accents. Boy, does he look sharp here tonight.
He certainly does, Reagan. Those black uniforms, I just love the look of them.
Great work by Five Hole Hockey and Apparel Providers. New sponsor for Central Michigan. Play underway. Out come the Wolverines. Across that line, right wing. Potter in with a shot. He lifts it up and out of play. And a good play by Gleisner to come out and challenge that. He made 8 saves in that opening period. Really hasn't been tested that much hasn't been tested that little this season. He didn't get the start against Davenport, but tonight he's shown his true colors. He's playing very well.
He is playing very well, and that's also a testament to CMU getting sticks down in those shooting lanes and breaking up those chances for Michigan-Flint. You got to help your goaltender out, and Michigan-Flint has not been able to get a lot of shots on net. So far, CMU defense and Gleisner doing their job.
Chippewa defensive zone face-off 1. And they clear it out. Connor Morgan across that line wearing number 4 tonight for the maroon and gold. Up to Gilgren at the point. His shot caroms off the end boards. Oh, boy. Those boards, almost like Joe Louis, eh? They're almost like trampolines on which pucks shot from any distance just carom right back out into the slot. Sure makes for some nerve-wracking moments if you're the masked men. Now Connor Morgan up the wing in a 2-1-1 for CMU. Cuts in with a shot right pad save. Up to the point. Kamara kept it in. Shot save once again by Alex Noble. He's been busy tonight. 14 shots in that opening period and a flurry of quick ones there. 1.5 minutes in. Icing called against Michigan-Flint.
Good test there for Alex Noble. Faces a couple quick shots. A soft rebound. Couldn't be corralled by Central Michigan. And the Wolverines fling it down the length of the ice. Central Michigan gets their first offensive zone draw in this second period.
Third line out there for CMU, and yes, I said third line. Jace Johnson, Isaac Gibbs, and Isaac Hopp dressing as the third line, but they've been by far the most productive line throughout this season. The only Chippewa players, each of them, to accumulate 10 or more points on the campaign. Isaac Gibbs leads the trio with 12 points. Jace Johnson leads the team in goals with 9, now 10 on the season. And then Isaac Hopp brings up the rear and assists with 9. Again, that's another lead on this line for Central Michigan. So third line in order only. They're by far the most productive line for Central Michigan. They had a couple of good chances moments ago, but now Michigan-Flint will move up the right wing. They'll tap it in behind the goal and into the far corner. Bottles battling for it there with Mason Wisniewski. First time we've seen him on the ice here tonight. Wisniewski part of that third line out there with Riley Melody and Blake Berger. Pass ahead on right wing. Look at Jace Johnson turn on those Jets. How do you like that? It's cleared up to the line though by the netminder Noble. Bowerson kept it alive though at the line. Holt danced down into the corner, checked off the puck. Wisniewski picks it up. It's poked away from him. Bowerson in the corner. Isaac Gibbs centering it out in front, but nobody home there in black. And away come the Wolverines. They'll move it out to center. 17:24 to go in the second period. Reagan Cleaves, Michael Rosenkrantz on the call for you from Crystal Fieldhouse. Again, we're radio tonight. If you want to watch the game, you can tune into UM Flint's Hockey Network on YouTube. Tom Garavaglia has the call for you there. Now Jace Johnson circling the offensive zone to our left for CMU. Ducks into the left wing corner on a second trip around the zone. Fed it out in front, knocked away. Look out, Hop's got it in front. And a beautiful point-blank save there by Alex Noble to rob Isaac Hop of what would have been his second career goal. And it remains a 2-0 game.
That's Alex Noble's toughest shot he's faced tonight. A beautiful centering feed to Isaac Hop. He rips a shot. Alex Noble sees it all the way. A great stand for the freshman netminder for Michigan-Flint.
Face off to that netminder's left, controlled by the Maize and Blue. Pass ahead, though, knocked away by Ryan Grolo. And back into his own end. Here is Lucas Hutton. He collides with the man in the corner. Rather, that's Grolo. A centering feed too hard for Temple, and it'll be controlled in the corner by CMU. Skied out to center. We're at the Michigan-Flint logo. It'll be chopped in by the Wolverines. Gleisner able to pad that away, and it's back at center and at his own line. Nick Temple will play it for Michigan-Flint. Ahead on left wing, here's Aaron Steiger. Rink-wide feed, tipped into the zone by Chappelli. Marcus Chappelli in this fourth line out there for Michigan-Flint with Steiger and Rose. CMU counters with their fourth line as well. Arbin Trout, Julian Johnson, and Andrew Miller. Miller takes a hop off. Bishop out there for the Chippewas up the left wing. Here comes Temple across that line. The defenseman to the outside, works around Gleisner. He works his way into the near corner. Slides it across to the left point, Carpenter. He holds at the line, backhands it down behind the goal. It'll be taken here by Hutton. He'll flip it up to the point, kept alive though by Carpenter at the line. Stepping free, here's a shot from the slot, just sent high there by Blaine Gore. Looking for his 12th goal of the campaign. Bouncing puck, controlled by the Chippewas, but it's going to be a hand pass. And so another face-off back in the CMU end.
And it's another one of those plays, Reagan, where you bat the puck down, but once again your hand comes too far forward. So Central Michigan has to touch up there. What would have been a clean breakout had the hand pass had not existed in the game of hockey.
But alas, the only thing you can legally propel the puck with are your skates, unless it's into the net, and your stick. Speaking of which, two sticks whack away at each other, and we're back underway. 4:36 gone in this second period, opening half thereof. 2-0 Central Michigan leads. Jace Johnson now, and Connor Morgan back in that opening frame. Michigan-Flint dumps it in. Conlon Carpenter to push it deep. With 5 minutes to go, Owen Campbell flubbed it behind his own goal. Results in a turnover. Carpenter right point. Shot through traffic. Deflected right out in front of Isaac Gleisner. Comes back along the half wall, stepping free. Miles in with a shot, and it's swallowed up by Gleisner. Just over 5 minutes gone in this second period. And we mentioned we'd take a look at the ACHA Top 10. Now's the time. Of course, we're early in the season. And the way all the computers work, the top 10 or the top 25 is all over the place. But the top 10 I think is pretty good. Of course, who else at the top but Hope? They're 9-1 taking on number 4 Oakland here this afternoon. That game started about a half hour ago. Boy, that's a heavyweight matchup. You and I talked about that in the pregame show, Michael. Those two teams going to duel it out. Hope missed the national semifinal for the first time since the 18-19 campaign, where they lost. Now a puck chopped away. Here's Bottles into the offensive end, right wing or left wing corner. Dropped it off for Campbell, but he overskated it. The captain gives a whack away at Carpenter, who moves the puck up ice. Across the line, here's Moe stepping in. He's hauled down. Penalty coming up on Central Michigan, and they'll go to the penalty kill here. And a few extracurriculars. Moe tries to whack the stick away from Sam Camara and gives him an extra shove. Still extracurriculars going. And there may be an extra penalty to come out of it. We're with 5:49 gone in the second period.
Yeah, first penalty is going to be a tripping penalty going against, just looking at the number, Josh Gilgren there for Central Michigan. It looks like he's the only one going in the box for CMU. So Gilgren's going to go off for a tripping penalty, and it does not appear that there's going to be another player in the box, neither for Michigan-Flint nor CMU. So CMU on their first penalty kill of the evening.
I can't read the referees' mind. I can only read their signals and their whistles. What can I say? So Central Michigan comes out of it 4-on-5 for the next 2 minutes. Michigan-Flint struggled on their power play early on in the year, but Coach Nick Karstens, it's improved, at least from the way he looks at it over the last couple of weekends. They played at the offensive line. They throw it around the boards. Back in the near side corner, Chippewas take it away and dump it down the ice. Good start to the PK for CMU, who was pretty good last weekend despite allowing 3 goals.
They were a total of 8 for 11 on that penalty kill last week, and 7 of them coming in Saturday's contest against Calvin.
Michigan-Flint back on the attack, zone 2 on right. Zach Potter got worked over, though, and the Chippewas send it back the length of the ice. On the near side boards, back in the Michigan-Flint end, will be worked out here by Moe. He's got speed through center. The freshman out of Alpena cuts to the middle, a shot that was blocked. Comes back to the left circle for Hinkson. Hinkson holds along the corner boards. Battle for it there. He gets hauled down. Worked back up to the point for Temple. Temple trading places with Potter. Temple faked the one-timer. Right wing corner boards for Moe. His shot was blocked with 50 seconds to go on the power play. Puck's down behind the net and into the corner where it's taken by Clements and sent down the ice with 43 to go on the power play. Stellar penalty killing here from Central Michigan.
They're keeping up the pressure, Reagan, and that's what Central Michigan has to do. They're applying some pressure. Isaac Gibbs on the back check right there.
And look at this, a turnover at center, sent right back in. That'll kill off even more time. 24 seconds to go, and Isaac Gibbs on the forecheck here. Central Michigan was frustrated by Calvin's forecheck. Look out, taking a spill there was Gore, but he was able to clear it before Isaac Gibbs could pounce on the loose change. Dangerous opportunity there for Central Michigan, though nothing comes of it. One touch pass ahead through the neutral zone to Gore. He's across the line for the Wolverines. Penalty over. Gore wheels in the corner, deals back up to the point for Placio. Slides it across left circle. Here's a shot that was snapped just wide there by Carpenter. Now off that shot, it had so much steam that it slides back down into the Michigan-Flint end to our left. Wolverines traveling left to right here in the second period. Pass ahead on left wing to Placio. He steps in, fades it out in front. That was redirected wide by Boxa. Rebound up to the right point, Carpenter slides it across here for Gore. His shot through traffic, that was blocked. Comes across the way where Placio takes his man down. Centering feed knocked away, controlled now by the Wolverines. They get it up to the point. Here's Placio. Trades places here with Gore. He steps in, shot, nifty glove save there by Gleisner, and Hutton delivers an extra chop after the whistle to Berger. Berger does likewise. Nothing comes of that. 11:20 to go in the second.
Good stop there for Gleisner. A scary hit into the boards for Central Michigan. That looked like Ryan Grollo took a spinning hit along the far side into the boards. Good to see him get up and skate off on his own accord, but a little shaken up as he was bashed along the boards where he went head first.
11:20 to go in the second period. Michigan-Flint wins the offensive zone draw. They go to work. Shot from the left point, bounced in on Gleisner. He turned it aside. He comes back out to center via Jake Bishop. Head on left wing, Bottles chases after the loose puck, centering it out in front. Couldn't find Campbell. Now, net is prematurely off its moorings. It'll be pulled back on by Alex Noble. The net minder for Michigan-Flint's been sharp tonight. Made a couple of good saves, including one early on in this period against Isaac Hopp. Now Bishop flops this on ahead, directed into the corner by the aforementioned Michigan netminder. Campbell comes free with it behind the net, puts on the brakes, looking to the right side, fed it out in front. Bishop turnaround shot denied. It'll be flipped out by Hinkson through center. Josh Gilgren, part of the second D pair for CMU, will flop it on in. A really good chance there for Bishop, Michael, but again, Noble up to the task.
He is up to the task. A great stop on another point-blank shot from Jake Bishop.
Here's Hinkson leading the Wolverine rush. Snaps a shot wide of the left goal post behind Isaac Gleisner. Back up to the right point. Long shot saved by Gleisner. You'd like to see him gobble that up rather than let that loose rebound bounce all the way to the far side. Now a bouncing puck in on the netminder, and he will hold with pressure coming from Hayden Rose. We're exactly halfway through this second period, which means it's time to take a look at this date in Chippewas history. Back in 2019, Not a very busy day, only 3 occurrences. CMU, though, 1-2 on the day historically, looking to get back to 500 today. That one win came back in 2019, where Central Michigan kicked off their weekend series with a hard-fought come-from-behind win, 5-4 at Suburban Ices, glancing over the Michigan State Spartans. After the Spartans took a 3-1 lead into the first intermission, the Chippewas rattled off 4 consecutive goals to come back and win 5-4 in that one. That's this date in Chippewas history. Flint in the offensive zone sends it into the slot. Shot from Chippelli was blocked, and away come the men in black. Over the right wing, Siraki dropped it off. Here, Morgan, right circle, a shot. That was blocked. Rebound, where is it? It's up in somebody's paraphernalia with 9:29 to go. And that game back in 2019, Michael, one of those 4 goal scorers, how about Brennan Martin? The defenseman for the Chippewas and now head coach. He had a long and storied career dating back to the 18-19 campaign, and he's been good behind the Central Michigan bench. A presence on the ice as a leader. Look out, Chippewas dangerous out in front. It's cleared back up at the point. He's been a great presence on the bench for Central Michigan the last couple of years. Struggled to get them to the national tournament, but he's really starting to turn the corner culturally here for this team.
He really is, Reagan. He starts to set some expectations for this team. Central Michigan knows what it means to win and get back to a bright spot like the national tournament. They've been dying to get back there, and it's all about doing the little things right and playing a full 60 minutes of hockey.
Connor
Holy
Morgan,
smokes.
hello! Nails Marcus Chippelli right in front of the broadcast booth. Holy Lipton, everybody. That's the physicality we've been wanting to see from this Chippewa team, but really haven't over the first couple of series. More so, they've been out physical in those games, but holy Lipton, Connor Morgan laying the lumber here, and that should put a charge into the Central Michigan bench.
Whoa. When this game had the chance to turn physical, this game turned physical. Connor Morgan just putting the body on the line right into the boards. A huge hit fires CMU right up, and a face-off coming in CMU's zone.
Now Michigan-Flint wins the defensive zone draw, though, and they'll move it up the left wing. Zach Potter across the line protecting the puck. Loose puck, and it's poked away by Isaac Leisner using that reach. 6'1", 165 out of Saginaw. He's definitely the traveling man in ACHA. Played with 3 different teams, most recently with Eastern Michigan. He went 1-9 last year with a .632 goals against average. This year through 4 games, he's 0-3, posting a .543. He was part of the reason that Central Michigan was that close with the Knights last weekend. Now look, a feed out in front. The Wolverines knocked it away, and it's back into the right wing corner boards. And the Central Michigan end to our right. Austin Hinkson pulls it free. It's loose at the side of the net. Dribbles behind the net, where it's taken by the Wolverines. Gore flipped it down into the corner, trading places with Carpenter, and now look out ahead with speeders. Jake Bishop through center. He coughed up the puck. Palacio poked it away, but Nathan Bottles back on it for the Chippewas. He was knocked off the puck, and Carpenter leads the rush ahead. Potter on right wing, coughed it up. Taken now by the captain, Chris Martin, for the Chippewas. Back out at center, 7:33 to go in this second period. Scoreless in the second, but not through the first. 2-0 CMU leads. Up the right wing, Chippewa rush stalls out, and they'll just dump it in, rink-wide feed. Icing waved off as Carpenter took a rather lackadaisical route to the puck. Hutton knocked it back into the Michigan-Flint end from neutral ice, and it's back down to the near boards, where it's flopped down in by Michigan-Flint. 13-minute mark of the second period. Look out, a turnover stepping in. Here's Wisniewski. He lets a shot go on the outside, knocked away there by Gleisner. Great opportunity for Michigan-Flint, their best of the night.
That's a tough giveaway there for Central Michigan. Sorry about that, Reagan.
Yeah, you're good.
Wisniewski able to step in on that one. Couldn't really get the stick on that shot, though, and it just went right to the outside of Isaac Gleisner. Made a tough save, but good chance there for Michigan-Flint.
Nick Temple kept the puck alive at the left wing point. Fires it around the boards. It comes free on the near side. Hash marks. Jace Johnson leads the rush up for CMU. Nifty one-touch pass ahead. It's a 3-on-1. Isaac Gibbs left side, centering it out in front. Knocked away by Temple, but Isaac Gibbs gets it right back. He saucers a pass to the left point for Kamara. Steps in with a shot, blockered away. Now Kamara gets it right back. He steps in, shot blocked up and over top the goal. Now the net comes off. It's Moorings. Boy, that net comes off it like a hot knife through butter. They better put some more substantial moorings on that. Now away come the Wolverines. Blake Berger up right wing. He coughed up the puck, though. And he'll have to chase it back into his own end. Great scoring chance there for CMU, but really, they didn't get a shot off.
No, they didn't, Reagan. A shot blocked coming from Sam Kamara. Got his own rebound, and Alex Noble, again, standing tall here in this one.
Isaac Kopp will dump it in and head off for a line change. Central Michigan has this line of Miller, Johnson, and Armentrout out there. Gilgren kept it alive as Armentrout finally joins the ice after coming on late for this shift. 5:15 to go, second period. Miller down behind the net, working free, tried to work it up top, but it was knocked away, and it's bouncing at center where it'll be controlled here by Kyle Bowerson. Look out, a couple of players tied up across the way. That's Bryce Moe and Andrew Miller. Chippewas come away with a bouncing puck up the left wing. Jace Johnson to the outside. Coughed up the puck. Miller across to the right point for Kamara. He slides down the half wall. A shot deflected out in front. Miller on the rebound. He centers it out in front. Julian Johnson on the one-timer, fanned on it. Now another opportunity from the right point. Clapped wide by Kamara. Had that overtime winner 2 years ago. November 4th, 2022. To win the game for CMU, 6-5 in overtime, and now right in front of the referee, Armentrout's getting worked over, loose puck in front, and it's controlled, and an exchange of words in front by Armentrout and Meisner, and everybody will disperse.
That physical play and those tempers starting to flare, Reagan. The officials letting the men play here tonight, as there's only been one penalty called this entire game on Carl Blevins back in the first period. That physicality continues to be a factor in this game, but again, the officials letting the men play tonight.
Draw to the right of Alex Noble, pulled free by Siraki. The winger's shot was blocked in front, couldn't get a ton on it, and it's played back across the way. Pulling it free is Nick Kuhn, had his first ACHA goal a weekend ago against the Knights. Here's a shot from the right point. Karen wildly off the end boards, and it's played out to center with under 4 minutes to go in the second period. 2-0 Central Michigan leads off of goals from Jace Johnson and Connor Morgan. Way down in the Michigan-Flint end to our left. Siraki battling for it 2-on-2. Connor Morgan picks it up behind the goal. He's crunched to the boards. Puck squirts up the wing. Look out. Kuhn steps free with it. Lost it. Morgan tried the slap shot. Blocked. Bowerson through traffic. A soft shot along the ice trickled wide. Siraki behind the net for Kuhn in the corner. Lost the puck across the way. Gets it back. Dangles into the slot. Lets a wrist shot go. Saved by Noble. And he'll hold on with 3:17 to go in period two.
That's a great play for Nick Kuhn. Able to stay with it after he coughs up the puck. Is able to get it back, circle high up into the slot. He has a lane. Alex Noble sees it all the way, though. And again, Reagan, he's only allowed 2 goals tonight, but Noble has played really well here tonight at Crystal Fieldhouse.
Yeah, he's had plenty of opportunities in which to show his stuff. Central Michigan leading in the shot category, though they botch this face-off win and turn the puck over. Zach Potter up the right wing. He's got time and space into the circle shot. Save and a big juicy rebound. Pops up to the left wing point. Palacio steps in, shot. Saved by Gleister. Rebound swept away. Back up for Hinkson at the left point. He kept it in. He works down the wall. Dangling down into the corner. Looking for the wraparound. Sent it out in front. Loose puck in front of Gleister. The shot was blocked. And Hutton has it. Boy, that defenseman sweeping the puck away from Gleisner leads to a couple of good scoring chances there for Michigan-Flint.
It does, Reagan. Central Michigan doing a great job, though, at keeping those sticks down on the ice.
Hinkson with a great stick. Campbell was behind the defense. The stretch pass was attempted, but Hinkson knocked it away. Meanwhile, Chippewas are able to regroup and move up left wing. Bottles left wing side, centering it out in front. Loose puck denied. And away comes Hinkson up the left wing. Back and forth action here in the last couple of minutes. Hinkson across the line, dropped it back to nobody in particular. Gower took a spill, loose puck. Palacio trying to battle for it. Hinkson steps free in the slot, lost control of it, and it'll squirt into the corner here. Sent around the boards, Gower on the left half wall. Up top, Palacio battling for it there with Bishop and Hutton. Loose puck will dribble behind the Central Michigan net. Look out, a long stretch pass. Campbell didn't have a stick on the ice, and it's going to go for icing. Boy, for any young hockey players listening, as that icing comes with just over 1 3/4 minutes remaining, that's a lesson to keep your stick on the ice, right, Michael? A long stretch pass. Campbell, if he can collect that, he's in alone on a breakaway, but instead he's skating with his stick up, and it goes right by him.
That's a play that Owen Campbell is going to want back. You can't have your stick on the ice, especially when you are that far behind the defense. A prime scoring opportunity, a big break there for Michigan-Flint.
1:46 remaining in the second period. Stay with us for the intermission report. Michael and I will recap the game thus far and then take a look at the professional out-of-town scoreboards, including the Grand Rapids Griffins in action tonight against the Rockford Ice Hogs. Up the right wing, here comes Temple across the line, dangling into the outside, lets a shot go, save Gleisner, rebound loose at the side of the net, and it comes free for Hutton on the near side. Old scramming up the boards, Nathan Bottles pitchforks this in. Behind the net of Alex Noble. We played up the half wall. Bottles, though, trying to work it free. Wisniewski scoops up the loose change for the Maize and Blue, and it'll be skied through center. Sam Camara racing back for the Chippewas. Beats Blake Berger back to the puck. 64 seconds to go in the period. Up the right wing, Chippewas have numbers. Isaac Hopp up the right wing. Across that line, tried to dangle past Temple. Couldn't do it. He collects the loose puck behind the net, though. Bats away at it behind the Wolverine goal. Pulled free by Temple. Trying to work it up the left wing. It was knocked away from him, and it's sent down the ice back into the Central Michigan end with 40 seconds to go in this period. Camara slaps it up the wing. Jace Johnson ahead with speed. Motor to the outside. Trying to work around the net. Crunched to the boards by Grayson Meisner. He lost control of the puck along the hash marks across the way. Gower pokes it ahead. Look out. Here's Hinkson with a race. 2-on-1. Steps in. Shot. Snapped it just wide. Gleisner might have gotten a piece of that with his blocker. Nonetheless, it stayed out. Now it's behind the net. Hinkson, boy, he has been a menace on the ice tonight, Michael, for the Michigan Wolverines. Though his last rush comes to nothing. It's sent down the ice by Central Michigan. Back out to center. Forwarded in by Zach Potter, and that'll do it for this second period. Big fat zeros on the scoreboard in that frame. Both teams coming out scoreless, but CMU, with those 2 goals in the first period, hold the lead.
They do, Reagan, and it was a good second period for Central Michigan. Yes, he did go in the box for Josh Gilgren getting a tripping penalty, but that's the only penalty you've given up thus far. Both teams playing very disciplined hockey at this point. Michigan-Flint has been turning on the afterburners in the second period, creating lots of good scoring chances in the latter part of that second period. Isaac Gleisner having to stand on his head quite a bit and making some good saves. And for Central Michigan, you had a good scoring chance with Owen Campbell, just couldn't get his stick on the ice. That's one he's going to want back, but they've played pretty evenly in the second period.
Indeed, both teams pretty even, and that reflects in the shots on goal. 11-10, Michigan-Flint leads. Chippewas still hold the overall advantage 24-19. But Chippewas hold the advantage where it counts. The scoreboard, 2-0. Goals from Jace Johnson, Connor Morgan back in that first period. We'll step aside. We'll be right back with the second intermission report here on CCHN. 2-0, Chippewas lead after 40. Zam is back out of the ice, and so we're back onto the air here at Crystal Fieldhouse. 2-0 Central Michigan leads after 40 minutes of play. And Michael, it's been a back-and-forth first period. It's been a back-and-forth game through the 40 minutes. Both teams getting their fair share of opportunities, but Central Michigan obviously capitalizing on those first two goals in that first period. But it's been a 5-on-5 game that really hasn't had many fireworks either way.
No, there hasn't. You might see just a little extra shots here and there, Reagan, but both teams doing incredibly well at playing disciplined hockey here tonight. Central Michigan does hold that 2-0 advantage on the scoreboard. Both teams having their fair share of scoring chances as well in that latter half of the second period. You talk about Owen Campbell. Unfortunately, did not get his stick down in time. He would have had a breakaway that could have possibly made it a 3-0 game, but the way Alex Noble has been playing, he's been playing stout today.
Yeah, he has indeed been playing very well for Central Michigan here throughout this, for Michigan-Flint. And on the other side of the ice, Isaac Leisner hasn't been tested much, 19 shots on goal, but he's stopped all of them thus far, including a couple of really good saves on some good Michigan-Flint opportunities. But let's go back to earlier in that first period where second period where Isaac Hopp was able to find the puck in the slot, and he had time and space and just ripped a shot on goal, possibly the best save of the night from Alex Noble.
It was definitely a heck of a save from Alex Noble, and that's a tough shot there for any given goalie. A point-blank range shot. Your eyes got to be on the puck at all times, and just with so little space, and time like that, it may just be a matter of just putting the glove up or putting the stick up to see if you can get a stop. And fortunately for Alex Noble, it winds up right in the glove. But for Isaac Hopp, that's a chance that he desperately wanted to have and didn't get that one.
It is indeed a chance that he wanted, and he was able to stop Central Michigan. He has made 22 saves on 24 Central Michigan shots. Isaac Leisner has shut the door on all 19 Michigan-Flint opportunities. Taking a look now at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll keep this one segment for this second intermission. Griffins are down 4-1 against what's been their kryptonite to start this season. The Rockford Ice Hogs just tacked on another one with 1:02 remaining in the third. They lead 4-0, and the Rockford is the only team that Central Michigan has lost to in this regular season, and it looks like they're going to end up losing again here tonight, 4-1. Right now, the lone Griffins tally, let me pull it up here. The lone Griffins tally coming from Brogan Rafferty is second of the year from Josiah Didier and Nate Danielson. That came in the third period. Rockford had a 3-goal lead. They struck early at 3:54, and since then they really haven't trailed the Grand Rapids at all this season. Been all Rockford in their 2 games, but they're coming off, the Griffins are, of their best start in franchise history. 6-1, 0-1 throughout their first 7 games. Their lone overtime loss to Hartford, that came on Wednesday to close out a 4-game road trip. Saginaw Spirit take on the Owen Sound at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Saginaw won 5-4 in a shootout on Sunday. They are 5-5, dead even in their last 10. But that game should be fun tomorrow. It was a close one on Sunday, close one hopefully tomorrow, but hopefully not if you're a Saginaw Spirit fan. Let's be honest. You don't like close games.
No,
I don't like close games.
No.
But, I mean, let's be honest. They're objectively more fun to call than blowouts.
No doubt.
So, the Spirit will take on Owen Sound tomorrow at 4 p.m. That'll be at Owen. That'll be at the Attack. Tomorrow, Doug Clark will have the call on 100.5 WSGW, and you can watch that on CHL TV. Red Wings in action tomorrow against Buffalo at 7 p.m. They're coming off of a 6-2 loss against Winnipeg on Wednesday to increase their losing streak to 3. Boy, they've struggled as of late. And some of my Bruins, I saw a tweet the other day, Michael, that at the beginning of the season, if you would have told a Red Wings fan that this far into the season you'd be tied with the Boston Bruins in points, you would have thought, yay, woohoo, great. The problem is you're the 2 worst teams in the division.
Yeah, it's not a good time for either of us, Reagan. You being the Bruins fan, myself being the Red Wings fan. But yeah, it's been a tough start for both teams, and They're both teams that you don't expect to see this low in the Atlantic Division thus far. It is early in the season, but not the ideal start for either team.
Certainly not the ideal start. The Wings are in action again tomorrow against Buffalo at 7, coming off of that loss against Winnipeg. They'll take on Chicago on Wednesday at 8 p.m. at the United Center. You can listen to both those games on 97.1 The Ticket, Ken Cal Paul Woods. And you're going to watch that on FanDuel Sports Detroit. I'm going to step aside, but I think Michael wants to talk about some high school football. I'll let him do that. So, Michael, take it away.
A little bit on the high school football side. Rivalry game to start the district semifinals as Reagan takes off the headset right next to me. Taking a look at the high school football side of things, district semifinals, for those that don't know, proud Clarkston Wolves alumnus here, class of 2021. Go Wolves! They just took down their bitter rivals, the Lake Orion Dragons, in the first round of playoffs, the district semifinals, by a final score of 35-16. The final touchdown of the night coming from quarterback Alex Washenko on the night to get the extra point for Aiden O'Neill for Clarkston to give them the 35-16 win. Griffin Bowman had a good night on this one, had the first 2 touchdowns. Their biggest lead for Clarkston, 19-point margin in the district semis. So Clarkston off to a good start in the postseason. They finished the regular season 6-3, as did Lake Orion, both at 2-2 in the conference. But Clarkston moves on to the district finals, and their next match doesn't get any easier. They play the Rochester Adams Highlanders at Adams High School, where they're going to go 2 games in a row at opposing stadiums. They are in the Dragon's Den tonight at Lake Orion. Now they'll go to Rochester Adams to take on the Highlanders. Turning attention back to CMU hockey, they are 2-0. Chippewas lead 2-0, just about 6 minutes and 22 seconds ahead of the third period of action. We'll step aside one more time, but when we come back, Reagan Cleves will have the play-by-play for you here from Crystal Fieldhouse. After 40 minutes, CMU leads 2-0 over Michigan-Flint on CCHN.
Welcome back to Crystal Fieldhouse, where despite what Bon Jovi may say, we are more than halfway over here in this hockey game. 2-0. Central Michigan leads through 40 minutes. The final 20 minutes coming up next here on CCHN. Reagan Cleaves and Michael Rosenkrantz soon to join me back here in the booth. After that second intermission, it was a very back and forth, you could almost call it cumbersome or cumbrous, whatever literary device you may want to use. Central Michigan and Michigan-Flint combining for 24 and 19 shots through those first two periods. And we're set to go. Central Michigan left to right across your radio dial in this third period, wearing those all-black new alternates that they debuted tonight. And Michigan-Flint countering from right to left, wearing those home maize uniforms. Play underway down here in this third period. Chippewas controlling the offensive end to our right. Owen Campbell pressuring his man up the right point. Here's Martin, swings it around the boards, bottles, holds. 20 seconds into this period. Steps aside a check, steps aside another one. Reverses field, but couldn't connect with the Chippewa behind the net. And it'll be clear to the point. Martin kept it in, though. One-time blast was blocked. And away comes Gore up the wing. He was crunched to the boards by Bishop. Loose puck at center. Will be controlled here by Zach Potter. Feet on ahead. Campbell takes it, just poked away from him. Good diving effort there by Juan Baxa to knock it away. And with 49 seconds gone in this period, Michigan-Flint will regroup at their own line. Up the left wing, here comes Temple. Across that line, steps in with a shot, sail it high, and it will rim around the boards across the way. Look out, dangerous fall there from Placio. Took a spill, and Nick Kuhn was right there to kind of direct him into the boards. Not with any malice, though, and good to see Meisner get back up. Loose puck in the Wolverine end. Kuhn will poke it on ahead, and it's played by Noble as he corralled the bouncing puck in on him, and he will hold with 18:42 remaining in this third period. Good start here for Central Michigan in this frame. Able to get a couple of good opportunities. They'll have a face-off draw to the left of Noble. Here's a quick shot off the face-off. Gilgren let it rip, and it was knocked away. Back out at center. And it'll be played behind the Michigan-Flint end after the Chippewas dumped it in. Sam Camara plays it at center, dumps it in, gloved down here by Nick Temple. And with a minute and 40 seconds gone, Michigan-Flint will break out. Indeed, they'll fail at breaking out as it's sent down the ice for icing.
Another quick start in this period, Reagan. Just nearly 2 minutes gone already. Both teams trying to keep that pace of play quick. Both matching step for step here so far in this third.
Draw to the left here of Noble. Michigan-Flint end to our right. Chippewas attacking there for the second time tonight. Here's Gibbs stepping into the slot. Coughed it up. Rather, he was stripped of it by Baxa. Comes behind the net, around the boards to the near side, where it will be played by Moe and out through center. Chopped in by Baxa, who'll go to the end boards along with Camara. Camara swings it around the boards, couldn't be gotten out. Baxa holds, Moe his shot. No, that caught Gilgren up high. And somebody with a history of upper body injuries, you really hope Gilgren comes away from that okay. He skies this up and then hunches doubled over. Kind of holding that left collarbone. We'll keep an eye on him, but he'll look to stay on the ice here as the Chippewas are unable to change.
Yeah, Josh Gilgren definitely still shaken up. You see him keep hunching over. And yeah, it's another scary sight. Josh Gilgren, again, a history of upper body injuries, and a tough look for Central Michigan here.
They lose the face-off. Placio left point, fan on the wrist shot, though able to keep it in and swing it around behind the net. Holding it there is Gore. The leading Wolverine scorer backs it up to the point near side. Placio down the wall to Hinkson. His shot from a sharp angle gobbled up by Gleisner. With 17:36 to go here in this third period.
That's really good cycling of the puck by Michigan-Flint. They were able to one-touch pass it almost to everybody in the offensive zone. A good shot from Austin Hinkson, but Isaac Gleisner saw it all the way, makes the comfortable save.
He stands like a statue debonair in all black along the near post. His play gets back underway. Hinkson left circle, a shot patted away by Gleisner. Gower in the corner now. Near side, spins away from Campbell, backed it up to Hinkson. Hinkson trying to poke it back to the point. Coughed it up, and Bishop moves ahead. Lead pass for Campbell, too hard. He and Palacio will go into the corner. Now a loose puck out in front, save, rebound. It's loose and cleared. Great opportunity there for the Chippewas, and Flint able to escape unscathed, but they are going to send it for icing with 16:50 to go.
Good gritty play by Owen Campbell. He's taken off the puck by his man, but almost a little shove to the backside gets him off course. And Central Michigan able to keep traffic down there where a centering feed is poked around a bunch of times. Noble makes the save and the rebound cleared for an icing.
Chippewas now have the offensive zone face-off win, something that they've struggled to do here in this game, but they get one here. Can't maintain firm control of it, though, as it's battled for along the half boards. Worked free to Martin at the point. He rims it around the boards. Going to be kept in by Gilger on the backhand feed out, and Michigan-Flint gets a line change, full sail here. Look out, a pass ahead, Gore intercepted, but great diving effort by Hutton to recover. He now pins Gore behind the net. The alternate captain against the sophomore. It's worked free. Centered it out in front. Hinkson knocked down by Campbell, and away comes Bottles free. We'll send it around the boards and go off for a change. Chippewas get 5 fresh new bodies out here 4 minutes into this third period. Slapped ahead into the zone for the Chippewas was Newski. Dumping it in for Flint. Clearing attempt knocked away from Andrew Miller, Grollo, and Johnson. That's Julian out there for CMU. They can't maintain control at the neutral zone, and the Wolverines will send it back to the Chippewa line. Back and forth as we've seen throughout this game, Michael. Both teams, again, a couple of good scoring chances, but not many. It's been kind of laborious here. Here's a shot from the right side, and it's deflected up and out of play by Gleisner. Got a unique feel to this barn. Again, one of the good purchase we've already mentioned, but also a barn that's been around for quite some time, and it shows. Very old, aged wood bleachers, wide enough that we can fit a full-on table up here to create a booth. And they've got a pretty unique feature. They got almost half the ice wrapped around, including the end boards to our left, with 4 rows deep of seating, which they have across the entire span of this building. Now a loose puck out in front of Alex Noble. Shot was denied, and now it's sent back out to center with 15:09 remaining in this third period. We mentioned this barn. It can get rowdy. Last year we were here on student night. Not many places get as rowdy as this, especially now that the Bay is up at the Division I level. Saginaw Valley State was by far the most hostile environment you could ever be in, and this is going to go for icing against Central Michigan. I was lucky enough to experience it a couple times, and boy, as a broadcaster, I'm jealous of Tom Cavanaugh. They're a broadcaster. You get to call in an environment like that every single night. That's got to be fun.
That has got to be an absolute blast. I have not been to the Bay at Saginaw Valley State, but every time I've been able to watch the broadcast while I'm not a part of the crew those evenings, it is an unbelievable environment.
Another icing here against Michigan-Flint, and unbelievable environment as it may be. The Chippewas have a history, not only over the last 3 seasons, but over their entire club history of collapsing 3-goal leads on the road, which, as frustrating as it is, allows people who love the sport like I do to experience those great crowds. Now, of course, we never mic them up for obvious reasons. They're college students. You never mic up a student section. Always a bad idea. Especially the Lawson Lunatics, which the men's Division II team will not have to face tomorrow, though they will be playing at Lawson. They only show up for the NCAA games. Now the Wolverines back in. His play has been going back and forth here through the first 6 minutes of this game. Pardon me, of this third period. It's back out to center. Flipped in by Michigan-Flint. They're attacking right to left. Chippewas defending in front of Isaac Gleisner to our left. Now Sam Camara dipsy doodles through center, weaves his way to the outside. Will put on the brakes in the corner, pressured by Temple, trying to get it up to the point, but it was stripped from him, and Temple sends it out to center where it's intercepted by Martin. We'll play it around the boards to the far side. 13:37 to go here in this third period. It's been a close game. Central Michigan up by 2. Stepping in, shot saved from the left circle. It's bouncing out in front. Bottles backed it to Campbell. Up top for Martin to the near side. Hutton holds in the circle, trying to feed it down low. Bottles collects off the block. He's got it right circle. Lost it for a moment, kept it in at the line right wing, and he'll spin it down deep. Campbell and Bottles converge. Bottles comes away with it, sends it out in front for Bishop, and a centering feed knocked away to the point, and it's all the way down the ice. Icing's going to be waved off. Martin has to come back quickly as the speedy Manistee product, and Aiden Hinkson Austin Hinkson right on his tail. This one's sent in from center by Michigan-Flint. The Chippewas netminder will hold. 12:48 to go in this third. Chippewas still holding on to that 2-goal lead.
You're starting to see much more pressure being put on in their own end. CMU creating good traffic. You're starting to see Michigan-Flint connect with their passes a bit more, and they're starting to put a little more pressure in on the CMU end.
This third period for Central Michigan all season has been by far their most productive. They scored 17 goals. They're looking to tack on some more here. Isaac Hopp across the line right wing, rubbed off the puck, lost it. They're at a Temple, who swings it around the boards and up to the point. Worked out here by Michigan-Flint. Cutting across the wing to the near side was Wisniewski. Steps across, shot that was blocked. It was kicked away by Gleisner. Wisniewski has it. Left point Temple. Down the wall. Here to Blake Berger, the sophomore out of Clio, Michigan, battling forward in the corner with the Clarkston native in Clements, and it's sent back out to center. Michigan-Flint rifles it back in. Lost the way, Berger holds it. Coughed it up, though, and Isaac Gibbs will backhand that down in. Bowerson trying to flip it on ahead. Here's Johnson over the line. Tried to drop it back. Here to Isaac Gibbs. 11:44 to go here in this third period. Michigan-Flint able to work that puck free in their own zone, but they can't get it out. It's tied up along the half boards. Gibbs battling forward in the corner. Pulled free. Gibbs behind the net. Saw him try to pull the Michigan earlier. Sent it through the slot, and it comes back up to the point. 11:24 to go here in this third period. Central Michigan has had the bulk of the possession, but really haven't been able to generate many opportunities, Michael.
No, they haven't, Reagan. And again, that speaks to the pressure of Michigan-Flint, as there's going to be an icing on that one going back into the U of M Flint zone at 11:14 in the third. But again, you're starting to notice that pressure of Michigan-Flint. We're in CMU's offensive zone. It's really thrown them off kilter in this third period. And Michigan-Flint, they haven't been able to get many scoring chances, but now they're starting to see their own pressure here on their forecheck in the CMU zone.
11:14 to go. Here in this third period, draw to the right of Alex Noble. He's played well tonight, though he holds a losing record on the season. 2-4, the product of Manistee. Also out of Manistee with Austin Hinkson, as this will go once again for icing against Michigan-Flint. So a tired group out there, Michael, with 11:04 to go in the third.
Yeah, this is a tired group, Reagan, and this is quite honestly the first time we're seeing this group of 5 for Central Michigan out there for an extended shift. So they're going to be looking for a change here soon, especially if they're able to get a wholesale change, if they can afford one.
Chippewas will keep taking those offensive zone faceoffs, but not with that result. They lose it, Michigan-Flint gets it out, and they'll get a line change as icing's waved off. All 5 Wolverines scramble off the bench, and 5 eager ones replace them. This is deflected up and out of play on a long stretch pass through center. Johnson was able to get a stick on it and deflected out of play.
Fans, if you're looking for game reports, stats, schedules, and more, take a trip to cmishicehockey.com. Right there you can find those and much more, including player information, recruiting information, apparel, and lots more. Again, that's cmishicehockey.com.
Face off won by Michigan-Flint in the offensive zone. They'll go to work. Mo on the left half wall. Lost it momentarily. He'll let a quick shot go and take another shot at Andrew Miller right in front of us. It's sent down the ice, and Milan Palacio back there to play it. Just about halfway through this third period in a 2-0 game, scoreless since the first. Chase Johnson with his 10th of the year, and Connor Morgan with his 6th. Michigan-Flint back in their own end. They'll tip it on ahead on the near wing. Martin got tied up with Mo, and they'll just watch it go by, and Hutton will collect in the near corner. Across the way, in the corner boards, multiple players converge. Taking a tumble there was Boxa. He got knocked down, but the Wolverines control. Here's a shot saved. That handcuffed Gleisner, and it's clear to the far boards where it'll be chipped out by the Chippewas. Here on a 2-on-1, Kuhn with Siraki. Behind Siraki, out in front. Nifty move, and oh my goodness! Andrew Siraki with a dandy of a tally. It's 3-0 CMU.
Whoa, Andrew Siraki, how do you do, my friend? A great feed to Andrew Siraki, outweights Alex Noble, and what a nifty move to get Alex Noble to the left side of his cage to create a gaping right side. And Andrew Siraki is able to easily backhand that one in. How about that for your first goal of the campaign? And it's a 3-0 Chippewa lead.
Siraki has been rather unproductive the last couple of years, not through any fault of his own, but more because of the lack of playing time that he's gotten. But in the last couple of weeks, he's made the most of it, including that beautiful forehand backhand move on the right wing to pot it past Alex Noble, and we now have a 3-0 scoreline. For Siraki, that's his 4th point of the year, first goal, at a 3-game point streak from October 5th to October 19th. It was snapped last weekend against Calvin. So good to see him get back on the board. We've seen him shine in some games throughout his career. Had a hat trick at Adrian 2 seasons ago. This was finished on an empty net. This is going to go for icing against the Chippewas. So that group of Gilgren and Sam Camara defensively, and forwards of Owen Campbell, Nathan Bottles, and Jake Bishop will stay out there. That line's been pretty good for CMU tonight. They're at the top line, at least on the lineup sheet that we get. But they haven't been the most productive, but they've certainly generated their chances tonight.
They really have, Reagan. You start to see that chemistry building with this line for Central Michigan. And it was a great move by Andrew Siraki to get the 3rd goal, but it hasn't been a lot of scoring chances, but their chemistry is really starting to show on the ice, and they've really started to click in this contest.
I'll tell you what, I'd like to see them win a defensive zone face-off. Michigan-Flint controls. They got a nice shot from the point. It was patted away by Isaac Leisner. Away come the Chippewas. Nathan Bottles through center. He'll backhand this in softly along the ice. Out of his net, Alex Noble will play it to the near side. Loose puck at center. Isaac Hopp, hip check, gets the puck back, sends it down low to Bottles. He lost it, gets it back, shovels it up to Clements, but it was intercepted by Blaine Gore, and it's back out to center. Gore feeding it on ahead from his defensive blue line after some forecheck from CMU. Will fire it on in. Gleisner stops it behind his goal. Clearing attempt kept in by Temple, though only momentarily, before Jace Johnson was able to poke it out to center. Wolverines dump it back in, though. Here's Hinkson on the right wing. In the corner, battling for it there, got worked over by Bowerson, and out comes Isaac Hopp, centering it on ahead to Jace Johnson with speed, but the sophomore had it poked away from him, and it's loose at center where Isaac Gibbs will play it. Firing it ahead on right wing. It's played in the corner here by Chiapelli. Battling for it there. The Clarkston native going in against the Brownstown native in Jace Johnson. Jace was able to pull it free from the corner. Battling for it there. Got poked down deeper, and he'll get it back. Good forecheck here by CMU. Johnson gets tripped up. No penalty coming. Only 2 of them in this game. Referees have been letting the boys play. And now, and just as I say that, Nolan Palacio gets hit with a high stick. Pardon me, that's Aaron Steiger. Gets hit with a high stick. Nothing called, and now a penalty coming up on Michigan-Flint as Meisner takes down Johnson. And with 7:05 to go in this third period, Chippewas going to head back to the power play, on which they're 1 for 1 tonight.
They have had a good start to the power play tonight, Reagan, but it'll be a little different much later in the hockey game. Like to see Central Michigan cycle the puck quickly here to try and generate another scoring chance on the power play, but it all starts with the faceoff. Central Michigan has had some difficulty with the faceoffs tonight. They'll get it to the left of Alex Noble. They're looking for a key win here on the faceoff to start the power play.
Meisner off for a trip, his 5th penalty of the season. Chippewas win that faceoff, but are unable to keep it in at the point. And it's not a good start to this power play for the Chippewas, which has struggled coming into today. Scoreless in their previous 2. They are 1 for 1, though, as Jace Johnson scored with 5 seconds left on the previous one here tonight. Back out at center, Chris Martin plays it assiduously to the near side. Isaac Gibbs with care up the left wing to the near side for Martin. He slides it across that line, near side to Morgan. Morgan, though, got worked over, and he's battling for it here with Brendan Miles, who will skate up ice over the right wing. Across that line, he'll try to retreat to center, but good work by Owen Campbell to work him over, and there's 75 seconds left in this power play. Tipped into the zone by Connor Morgan for CMU. Battling for it in the right wing corner, zone to our right. It's won by the Wolverines and sent down the length of the ice with 6:03 to go here in period 3. Here comes Chris Martin. Chippewas decked out in the All Blacks here tonight. Up the wing, it's poked ahead, though, as the Chippewas cough it up. Zach Potter into the offensive zone for the Wolverines. Behind the Chippewa net, he'll chip it up to the point. Couldn't be kept in, though, by Gardner. And the Wolverines will play it tactically back to their own blue line. But a good penalty kill here for Michigan-Flint, especially on the forecheck here. Zach Potter wreaking havoc at the Central Michigan end. And as we've seen all season, Central Michigan unable to win that offensive zone faceoff initially on the power play, and it costs them as they're unable to set up throughout the rest of the man advantage.
Absolutely, Reagan.
Example 432 right there.
Too many examples, unfortunately, on the CMU power play as the final 3 seconds are going to wind down.
Chippewas is out of the box, hops Meisner. Chippewas 1 for 2 tonight. Well, they still have possession of the offensive end. Jake Bishop pinwheels in the corner, lost it though as he was worked over, and Gower will send this out to center. Here's Gore across that line right wing. Pulls up along the top of the circle. His shot was blocked. Then he gets it right back on a failed clear. He centers it out in front. Wisniewski shot blocked. Rebound. It's loose in the left wing circle, controlled by Placio. And the net has come off its moorings. And both teams will be allowed to change here. But again, you and I have seen games at Martin Ice Arena over the course of the last 4 years. Those nets come off fairly easily. I don't think I've seen a net come off easier than the ones here.
No, Reagan. These nets have been popping on and off their moorings for quite some time here today. And that was a clean separation from the moorings. And it was another situation of rebounding that came out to Michigan-Flint.
Chippewas again can't clear the zone, and it's taken by Berger on the far wing. This has just got to stop if you're Central Michigan. You have to be able to make those clean breakouts, and it's just not happening. Here's Ryan Grollo up the wing for CMU. He dropped it back to Armin Trout, slaps it down into the corner. Under 5 minutes to play here at Crystal Fieldhouse. 3-0. Central Michigan leads. Anders Siraki with his first of the year, getting CMU that 3-goal lead. Dump in, blocked into the corner by Gleisner, directing traffic as he follows the puck into the corner with his eyes. There for CMU's Bowerson. Fires it around the boards for Clements. His pass up the wall, intercepted, and it's taken by Potter. Centering feed, snapped just wide. There by Potter, the alternate captain. Unable to put it home. Berger, though, stepping into the slot. Shot that was deflected twice before it got to Gleisner. He shouldered it away. Rebound in the corner, cleared out by CMU. It's down the ice. This will go for icing. And boy, I don't think I've seen a guy with that much time and space as Blake Berger had. He had, like, everybody was like kind of corralled down into like the first 10, 15 feet in front of the goal. He had all real estate available in the high slot, and he gets a good shot away.
That is a really good shot, and that's a defensive lapse for Central Michigan, which cannot happen this late in the game.
Time out on the ice. Central Michigan takes their timeout. We'll take one as well. 3-0 Central Michigan leads. 3:28 to go in period 3. Stand by. Conclusion of regulation coming up next as the Chippewas try to hold on to get their first win in MCHC East play. Three minutes, 28 seconds remain in regulation. 3-0 Central Michigan leads. Reagan Cleaves, Michael Rosenkrantz, Radio Ringside here at Crystal Fieldhouse, the wonderful old barn that the Michigan-Flint Wolverines call home. The East Division champions in 2012-2013 and the ACHA runners-up back in that same season. Right in front of those banners, we'll have a face-off. Michigan-Flint will get to choose where that face-off is, and it will be directly in front of the banners, left wing circle, Chippewa end to our left. They've dominated this game on the scoreboard, but as of late, Michigan-Flint's been pressuring, and they led the shot totals in the second period. Great poke check here by Bishop at the point. He's in on a breakaway if he can control the puck. Tried to center it as he pulled up in the right wing circle, but it was intercepted, and now the Wolverines ahead on right wing. Potter in with a shot that was caromed off the end boards, and it's played up the wall. Chippewas able to get it out here. Owen Campbell in a 3-on-1 with Martin and Bottles. Fires across to Bottles, but it was deflected on its way through, and the Wolverines are able to get it back out to center. Under 3 minutes to go in this third period. In a tight game here at Crystal. Now a feet ahead, Bishop steps in, shot swallowed up along the Flint crest by Alex Noble. 2:46 to go in period 3. We got to watch to see if he vacates the net for the extra attacker anytime soon.
You'd imagine Noble would go soon, and a great shot from Jake Bishop from a great feed. Plenty of time and space, but Alex Noble sees it all the way.
Draw to his right here. We're still 5-on-5 for the time being. Andrew Siraki pins up his man in the corner. That's Juan Baxa. The Minnesota native got it to the point, but not out. Loose puck around by Kuhn, but it was knocked away from him at the last moment. Now Morgan pulls it free, centers it out in front. Bouncing puck in the slot. It looped high in the air when it comes to the far half boards. Camara shoved it deep, gets it back on the return feed, cycles to the line. His wrist shot through traffic, Karen way up high off the end boards. Boy, that took a weird carom there behind Alex Noble. He's able to pull a little bit of a Mickey Mantle over the shoulder catch and hold on with 2:19 to go in period 3.
That is an odd carom indeed, Reagan. Sort of a little pop fly, if you will, off the high glass, and it was an odd carom. Alex Noble able to see it, but you don't see those often.
Yeah, you don't see those often, but I'll say he was able to handle that better than Aaron Judge.
Yes,
Here's
he
a
was.
shot from the left point off the face-off. Of course, the Yankees falling in 5 games to the LA Dodgers in the World Series. The Dodgers claiming their first since that really weird COVID campaign. They won. It was technically a home game, but they won it at Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. And this is flipped into the offensive end, it's flipped up and out of play. Now Campbell getting tied up with Palacio at center. A couple of words exchanged. Campbell gives him a tap and says, hey, sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. And there'll be a face-off right in front of us, outside the Chippewa line on the near side. 1:53 to go. Noble still in the net to our right. Wolverines win the face-off, though. They enter the zone, but quickly have to retreat back out to center ice. 1:45 to go. Long dump in on Gleisner. He knocks it away with the Flying C. First time Central Michigan has had the Flying C on their jerseys since 2 seasons ago, as this is sent for icing when they retired their gold jerseys. And again, we've been talking about them all night, but their black jerseys look really well, and for right now, they performed well. 3-0 with 1:34 to go. Another still tired group out there for Central Michigan. They had to take that timeout off of that most recent icing. And they'll have a face-off to the left of Gleisner once again. The senior from Saginaw looks on as the Wolverines win yet another face-off. Probably takes a sigh of frustration under that mask. Now Campbell steps in, he'll tee it up, fake the shot save. Another opportunity was denied. 1:19 to go. Noble still in his own net. Jace Johnson hauled down at center. Gore picks up the loose puck. Diving to keep that in at the point. Chippewas will control, though. 68 seconds to go. Michigan-Flint still keeping their netminder stapled to that blue paint. Now out at center, Potter holds across the line. His shot deflected way up and out of play over the netting that protects the fans behind the Chippewa net and out of play.
That puck tied up somewhere along the piping, it looks like, and 55 seconds to go. I'm very curious as to why Alex Noble is still in net.
Oh, because Michigan-Flint's taking a timeout. That's why.
That makes more sense.
They'll take a timeout. We'll stay here, though. So, of course, Michigan-Flint down 3 in the final minute here. Chippewas defending that lead, which is they've kind of built ever so slowly over the course of this game. They haven't had many opportunities, but they have taken advantage of the ones that they've gotten.
They have, Reagan, and if you don't get many opportunities, it's going to come down to when it comes at the right time. How will you capitalize? How will you put forth that extra effort to put that puck in the back of the cage? And it's happened at the right time where Central Michigan has gotten some good feeds, some good traffic in front of the net, and some nifty moves along the way to give themselves a 3-goal lead. But overall, this has been a pretty good game played by Central Michigan here tonight.
And it's been a good game played by Michigan-Flint. They haven't allowed Central Michigan to get many opportunities, and the opportunities that they have had, they've created good scoring chances. And to think about how much of a difference 3 guys make, again, they're missing 3 of their top 6 forwards, and Gavin Rose, Wesley Jung, and Brendan Polek, who are all out for a wide variety of reasons. But I think for head coach Nick Karstens, this is a very encouraging take. And look at this, they're keeping Noble in the net to our right.
Wow.
I don't know if this is a white flag with under a minute to go, but you got to at least try and pull your netminder. Instead, no, Michigan-Flint will keep their netminder in the net as they can't really do anything offensively here. They turn it over at the Chippewa blue line. Nathan Bottles dumps it in with 41 seconds to go. Back out at center, Gore wheeling around, pressured back into his own end, where it'll be taken here by Temple. Pass up the left wing for the Wolverines, intended for Hinkson. He coughed it up, and Temple will hold as it's offside here on the Wolverines with 28 seconds to go. So Central Michigan right now looking like they're going to improve to 4-6, and most importantly, get a solid start. 4-7. You got a solid start here in this MCHC divisional play. Hutton will wind in his own end after Central Michigan takes that neutral zone faceoff. Chippewas still pressuring, though. Bottles up to Bishop, across the line, coughed it up, loose puck back in the Michigan-Flint end. It'll be taken here by Temple. Will fly up the right wing. Hutton chipped it ahead. Carpenter trying to feed it on ahead with 5 seconds to go here in regulation. Played back out to center ice, and Isaac Leisner has his first ACHA shutout in his 25-game career. Gleisner mobbed by his teammates in the slot in the Central Michigan end. Boy, he played well tonight, especially considering the fact that despite the 3-0 lead, Michigan-Flint pressured throughout tonight. And what a moment for Isaac Gleisner.
It is an incredible moment for Isaac Gleisner, moving from team to team, finding a place here at Central Michigan, and getting a shutout win in Crystal Fieldhouse, and spoiling a Michigan-Flint homecoming here at Crystal Fieldhouse. That's the way you want to start MCHC East play, and it couldn't have come at a better time for Isaac Gleisner.
Indeed, Central Michigan now tied atop the MCHC standings with whoever wins that game between Michigan and Adrian. That started at 7. It's concluded. We'll tell you who won and recap this game when we come back. 3-0 the final. Central Michigan comes into Crystal Fieldhouse and storms away with a 3-0 lead and a 3-0 victory at that. CMU 3-0 the win over Michigan-Flint. You couldn't ask for a much better way to start off your divisional play. Central Michigan victors 3-0 over supposedly the victors, the Michigan-Flint Wolverines, here tonight at Crystal Fieldhouse. Reagan Cleaves, Michael Rosenkrantz, Radio Ringside for the postgame show presented by Optimex Sports. And Michael, let's talk about this one a little bit more in depth. CMU gets off to it was a very, very cumbersome start for both teams. Very slow. Neither team got many opportunities, but credit to CMU. They outshot the Wolverines 14-8 in that opening period. And Jace Johnson and Connor Morgan, although they didn't get many opportunities to the Chippewas, those two were able to capitalize and give CMU a lead they wouldn't relinquish.
They would not give up that lead at all, Reagan. And you talk about it throughout the hockey game. There were not a lot of scoring chances, but again, it comes down to when the opportunity arises, who's going to capitalize on that the most and who's going to generate those scoring chances. And for CMU and their 3 goal scorers tonight, Jace Johnson, Connor Morgan, and Andrew Siraki. They found that puck at the right place at the right time, had some time and space, and they were able to find the back of the cage. This is a good and confident win for CMU here tonight.
Yeah, a very confident win. Again, let's take it goal by goal. Jace Johnson getting things started on the power play with 11 seconds to go. In that power play at the 14-11 mark, stepped into the left wing circle on a nifty feed, and he ripped it. Low right side past the netminder Alex Noble to make it a 1-0 game. That power play tally coming again at 14-11. 5 minutes later, though, Connor Morgan, a very, very similar goal, working down the left wing. Out there with Nick Kuhn, gets the pass from Kuhn, and he rips it. I mean, rifles it top right corner, where Noble, again, 2 of the 3 goals tonight beat him on that left side, and it turns out that a little kryptonite doesn't help or doesn't hurt.
No, doesn't hurt at all. And what's interesting about those 2 goals, Reagan, is it was both on the left side, so Central Michigan may look to see that as a possible weak point for whoever is in net tomorrow. Might not be Alex Noble, but they could pay attention a little more to that left side of the cage going forward as they return to Martin Ice Arena tomorrow night.
Yeah, and then the only other then throughout that second period, both netminders played well. Gleisner stopped 10. Noble stopped 11, and then we go into the third period. Central Michigan, despite being up 3, they kind of played a little bit conservatively in that third period. They allowed Michigan-Flint to gain the momentum. The Wolverines outshot them in the last 40 minutes, 21-18. CMU did end up winning the shot battle 32-29, but very slim margin. And credit to Noble, the shots he did face, outside of one, which we'll talk about in a little bit with Andrew Siraki's first of the campaign, he played well and he kept his team in it.
He really did, Reagan. Alex Noble was standing on his head for most of the time, and Michigan-Flint was creating traffic in front along with Central Michigan, so he had a lot of bodies in front of him most of the time, and rebounds were poked out by Michigan-Flint, so Michigan-Flint was there to help Noble out, but outside of those 3 goals, which may affect his stats on paper, Noble played very well tonight and have no reason to hang his head.
He did indeed. The lone goal that would beat him was an Andrew Siraki beautiful he got the puck at the neutrals, at the blue line, worked into the right wing circle, charged down in on the netminder from there, made a beautiful forehand backhand move, and just put it home. Reminiscent of a goal he scored against Adrian a couple of years ago. On the night he had a hat trick, that hat trick and tonight, if I'm calculating correctly, make up 4 of his 5 career goals. So Andrew Siraki, have yourself a night, getting your first goal of the season, your 5th of your career, and he played well. However, story of the night: Isaac Gleisner. Boy, what a story, Michael. Adopted from Russia, raised by parents Deborah and Alexander. He's played hockey all his life, has bounced around from team to team, spent 3 years in the USPHL, playing 33 games, racking up a 5.68 goals against average, and then he started his collegiate career at Finlandia, played 2 seasons there, only 5 games in those 2 seasons, and then he goes to Eastern Michigan, finally gets a starting job, goes 1 for 9 in 15 games a year ago, and the common denominator through all of those seasons, those 6 seasons, no shutouts. And tonight, he gets the shutout. And not a bad showing at that. He didn't face 15 shots. He faced 29 and stopped all of them in a game which Central Michigan easily could have lost.
They really could have, Reagan. You couldn't ask for it much better for Isaac Gleisner. An incredible moment for him, but starting in that third period again, Central Michigan playing a little bit conservative, and that allowed Michigan-Flint to keep the pressure on, have them take the momentum, and that's something you can take into tomorrow. don't allow Michigan-Flint to tilt the momentum that way, especially when you have a 3-goal lead. Anything can happen in 20 minutes, which is plenty of time in each period. Don't take your foot off the gas pedal. Put that accelerator down, put the pedal to the metal, and keep it going until that clock hits triple zeros.
And as the clock hit triple zeros tonight, I'm sure Isaac Gleisner breathed a huge sigh of relief. Turned around, he had some hecklers tonight. He turned around, flashed the new black jerseys at the crowd. Was like, hey, look at this. And he's got the right to, making 29 saves in the shutout tonight. Not only his first shutout, but also his first win in a Chippewa uniform in his 5th appearance. He now has win number 1. Now we turn to take a look at our impact players: Isaac Gibbs, Sam Kamara, Blaine Gower, and Zach Potter. I really think, despite no goals being scored among that group, Michael, I think they all played very well. Isaac Gibbs created some scoring chances, but Zach Potter and Blaine Gore for Michigan-Flint, in a game where they were scoreless, they really created the bulk of the chances for this Michigan-Flint offense.
They did. They're the top 2 scorers on this team, Reagan, and they blend together so well on the ice. Head coach for Michigan, Karstens, has praised them highly throughout this season so far, and they have no reason to hang their heads as well. They generated a lot of the scoring chances. They were there right in front of Gleisner, putting the traffic on right in front of him and trying their best to jam away at loose pucks. But Central Michigan and Isaac Gleisner able to stand tall, to poke the puck away from them, and they'll look to get back with a vengeance and possibly spoil a CMU homecoming, which if you're a Chippewa fan, it's not what you're hoping for. But for Michigan-Flint, you have a lot of positives to take out of that, especially in that third period where you put on the pressure.
Yeah, and as a Chippewa fan, you don't want a repeat of the phantom of last season, that 2-1 overtime loss at home. The first time since the 2018-19 campaign that Michigan-Flint had beaten Central Michigan. It was 9 consecutive wins for the Chippewas dating into that series, and it was snapped before it hit double digits. Credit to Michigan-Flint. They put out a good product last year. But CMU gets the win tonight, and they'll go back and defend home soil tomorrow. Now we tend to take a look at our 3 stars of the game. Michael, who we got?
All right, Reagan. So third star of the game is going to go to Jace Johnson. He scored the first goal of the game, coming from a beautiful feed to the left, just past the blue line at the left point, and he just rifles a shot in that low right corner, beating Alex Noble to get the first goal tonight. Second star, got to go to Andrew Siraki. He gets the game-winning goal on that nifty forehand-backhand move. Very fancy with it, and Siraki able to get his first goal of the campaign. And first star, was there any doubt? Isaac Gleisner, saving 29 of 29, getting his first win in a Chippewa uniform at that, his first career shutout. Couldn't have asked for a better moment and a better story from Isaac Gleisner. He is certainly going to have a great ride on the back of the bus here tonight, as are the rest of this Chippewa team.
Well, I hope they don't put him on the back of the bus.
Oh, I certainly hope not. What kind of treatment that would be?
You said the trip on the back of the bus. I'm kidding. Either way, we're going to have a fun trip back to Mount Pleasant on the bus.
That makes more sense than how I would.
I've done it before too, Michael. No need to hang your head. But so those are your 3 stars. CMU coming out with a much-needed 3-0 win, and for a moment, they stand atop the MCHC East. I say for a moment because there are lots of other games going on. We'll touch those when we come back. One final break from Crystal Fieldhouse. Central Michigan, a 3-0 victors over the Victors. Four 7-0 is at the Chippewas here as they come out on top over the Wolverines 3-0 here tonight. Michigan-Flint falls to 7-8-0-1 on the campaign. Another close game that they lose. They haven't lost many blowout games this season. In fact, they barely have had any blowout games, but it's a close game tonight. Central Michigan comes out on top, and they'll turn around and recommence things tomorrow.
They will, Reagan. It's going to be a good confidence booster for Central Michigan. You get the win in a place like Crystal Fieldhouse, and again, it's a series that you've had the upper hand with and that you dominated with, but it's always an imperative time. Whenever you start division play, those are the games that really count because of the Vezina Cup implications and the road to the national tournament. Couldn't have asked for a better start for Central Michigan as they get the shutout win, and they look to go to Martin Ice Arena tomorrow to try and make it another 2-game win streak for the Maroon and Gold.
Exactly. Central Michigan would pretty much do anything for a start like this in the MCHC. As we mentioned, close games for Michigan-Flint. They've only had a handful of games go over a 3-goal deficit for them. The one that did was a 9-1 loss to men's Division II Schoolcraft. So for Michigan-Flint, they've had a very good season. Lots of tight games. They just haven't been able to get over the hump half the time. I mean, they are 7-8-0-1. But the two teams will recommence things tomorrow afternoon. 5 o'clock puck drop from Martin Ice Arena. We will have video for you for that one. We do have people coming. We'll be able to get you a live stream from Michigan-Flint. We appreciate your patience tonight with the radio call. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Before we get going, time to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Again, the Grand Rapids Griffins 4-1 losers to the Rockford Ice Hogs, their second regulation loss of the campaign. The only other one coming to the Rockford Ice Hogs. Other MCHC action tonight, Michigan and Adrian battling it out. The winner of that game will tie Central Michigan at the top of the MCHC East standings, albeit momentarily. We'll see how things go tomorrow. They got things underway at 8 p.m. They'll reconvene on Sunday at 7 p.m. at Adrian. Meanwhile, heavyweight battle, top 5 teams, Oakland and Hope, the number 4 and the number 1 teams in the nation. Oakland, 4-1. They lead after 40 minutes of play. That is a very close game to watch. You can follow on on Hope's Twitter account. That one's definitely one to watch here as they get things going down at Buffalo Wild Wings Arena. They'll turn around and play tomorrow night, 7:30, Griff's Ice House West out in Holland. That should be a fun series no matter who wins that one. Before we head out, a reminder that today's broadcast of the game was a copyrighted presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the CMU Club Hockey Network, and Moore Hall Television. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distributions of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the ACHA, CCHN, and MHTV. Speaking of MHTV, we'd like to thank them. They provide all of our equipment in terms of video, but they also provide our ice mics, which you heard here tonight. We couldn't do this without them. They make all of this possible. We'd also like to thank Tom Garavaglia of the Flint Hockey Network for setting us up, and head coach Nick Karstens for being willing to talk to us. A lot of coaches are willing to talk, but not everyone is like Nick Karstens or Tom. They are very good coaching staff here at Michigan-Flint, and it shows. They coach their guys very well.
They do coach their guys very well, and this is a very good Michigan-Flint team. They haven't been able to get over the hump, but Alex Noble, he played great today. Michigan-Flint played great today, especially in those second and third periods where they held Central Michigan scoreless for the final 40 minutes.
The only problem, CMU played better. 3-0 victors here at Crystal Fieldhouse, and that will do it for us here tonight, but we'll be right back tomorrow, 5:30 puck drop from Martin Ice Arena. I'll have the pregame show for you at 5 o'clock. Until then, my name is Reagan Cleaves for Michael Rosenkrantz and everybody else here at CCHN saying so long from Crystal Fieldhouse. Central Michigan winners 3-0 over the Michigan-Flint Wolverines. Thanks for listening.